button. Okay, there we go. I pressed the button. I did. I know I pressed the button. So don't say, you just sound is off. No, actually, you're supposed to say that. That's kind of how this works. If you tell me my sound is off, I was right about my mouth. I think I look like Thug Life this morning. I look like Thug Life. Is anybody feeling that this morning? I look like I want to rob you. Are you scared? Are you scared? I'm going to talk about Shennanigans Planet this morning. Shennanigans Planet. Shennaigans! I was looking up something for somebody last night. Alzheimer's. Oh, we're going to talk about shenanigans. All the shenanigans. Speaking of shenanigans, as I'm getting started trying to put my video on public so y'all can share it, you need to be sharing my video. You're all here watching all the time, commenting, having fun, laughing at people. You don't share the video. Share the video. And not only that, I might not start today till y'all like my YouTube video from yesterday. I might, you know what? Somebody unliked it. What happened to it? Let me go back to that yesterday. Hang on. We're going to talk about some shenanigans. We're going to talk about shenanigans. Shenanigans is important. I feel anyone feeling like scared or anything. Did I scare you with this hat on? I'm like, I'm Thug Life. I see the hat. I kind of scared me a little bit. Like, you know, like, dang it. Like, this man might be up to something. What the hell is he? I'm talking about shenanigans. I'm, you know what? But I have to pull Thug Life on this one. I ain't gonna start till y'all go to YouTube and like yesterday's video. Cause I got a little pissed off. I caught some emotions yesterday. I caught some emotions. Not even emotions. I caught some emotions. Why do if I do a video and I say that, cause what was yesterday's video? Probably pissed somebody off. Say that your reality, your identities are false identities that the lords and kings gave them to you, that you turned on your ancestors and they unliked the video. Y'all know I'm not going nowhere till I get some likes on that video. I'm gonna post a link so y'all, I'm sitting and listening to this music. I might put Peter Tosh back on. That's right. I'm pulling authority on that one until I get some likes on that. And I haven't even looked at the post this morning. I'm running my mouth. I didn't even look at it. Y'all might have liked it. I just saw it yesterday and I was like, man, I didn't call everybody Arcade Lives. I called me an Arcade Life too. I wasn't just talking about you. I talk about everybody. Let me look at yesterday's videos. I still got that unlike on there because it ain't gonna get no traction. Oh, it's only 4 likes. Nope, I ain't starting until I get at least 10 on that. Nope. Until I get at least 10 likes on yesterday's YouTube video, I ain't starting. I might turn the camera. I might just, you know what? I might put Peter Tosh back on. Here you go. I'm put it right here. I'm putting the link right here. I'm pulling Thug Life. Sometimes you got to pull Thug Life. That's the link right there. You need to click that link. You need to go over there and hit like. Until I see 10 likes on yesterday's video calling everybody Arcade Live, I ain't starting. That's right. I might, you know what? I might just be like the teacher did. Teacher made me sit in the corner. Oh, sit in the corner. And first of all, I explained something. This shirt right here says Chaps Ralph. Okay, it's French, right? And this is in solidarity with the French movement of the, what do they call it? The yellow jacket, not the yellow vest. I'm in solidarity with the yellow vest. This has nothing to do with Ralph Lauren. We're not supposed to wear labels. First of all, I'm gonna get Cartman because this is a shenanigans video. And I'm gonna put Cartman in front of my chest in a minute, but I got to explain this, okay? This shirt is 20 years old, y'all. Trust me, it's 20 years old. If you go out to Ralph Lauren, you know what, in fact, I can change Thug Life to French Life. Let me change Thug. Look at this. Let me do this. Hang on. Watch this. Check this out. I'm a chameleon, y'all. You're not going to survive in America unless you're chameleon. Unless you got some shenanigans, which I'm going to talk about Pfizer in a minute. Unless you got some, look at it. Oh, yeah. Vive la France. Look at that. Y'all going to say it's racist, but check this. I can look French. Look at it. Like, it's what I call a beret. I got a beret. Vive la France. Oh, wait a minute. How do you say down with the bourgeoisie in French? Shenanigans! Shenanigans! I'm sorry. All right, so anyway, first of all, outside me wearing a French hat. Racist! Cultural appropriation! Shut up! You don't know that I ain't French. How you know I ain't French? Did you do my DNA study? Did you, like the federal government, go inside 23 and me and somebody else and figure out if I got some French DNA? You didn't do that, so you don't know. I might be cultural appropriate at this moment in time. Eat me some baguettes. You don't know what I eat in the morning. That ain't coming. But this shirt, I'm not shouting, Ralph, do not buy that. Because you know what? You can't buy Ralph Lauren because I'm going to call Shenanigans on Ralph Lauren. I'm not sure. Are they still a company? I don't go out shopping. I don't shop. But I'm going to say, listen, when I bought this shirt, my son was a baby. That's how I know it's 20 years old. You can go look online. You are not going to find, oh my God, it's got an American flag on it. I didn't even look at it. I forgot it's got American. You're not going to find this shirt anywhere. Because when I bought it, first of all, it was at Costco. And Costco don't carry nothing new. Costco don't carry nothing. It was old when I bought it. It was a design and rolled out 4 or 5 years ago because they made the consumers. Because that's why I shop. I used to shop at Costco when I shop. Another place called Marshall's, like one sleeve is shorter than the other, or one sleeve got the ring like this and the other sleeve. I didn't know it at first. I was like, wow, $5 shirts, man, this is off the hook. And I would buy them, and I'd be like this, like, when I get home, oh, Lord, what the hell? That's the important one. Those are the ones that the slaves do at the factory in China and Africa and place Latin America. That's where they let you know that we're slaves, free us. That's the hint. And so they don't make full price selling at your local mall. They gotta sell it at the place I shop. So it's an old shirt, I'm gonna cover it up. If I don't have 10 mics, I ain't gonna start. We're gonna let that music play all day, and I'm gonna sit here and talk in French. Quel est-il? I remember some French word. Quel est-il? Je m'appelle Gerard. Je m'appelle Gerard. Brother Jonathan be like, dude, you can't do that, man. Yeah, I can. I might have some. There's Irish in there, there's British in there, there's African in there. There's some Papua New Guinea on there. I was trying to figure out how, and I didn't do the DNA test. My sister did it, but I can't figure how the hell we got Papua New Guinea in there. Did it was like the slave ship get lost or something? They was coming on the way. Because this is how I go. This is why I ain't in none of your identities. That's why y'all unliked my video yesterday, because I said that everybody's identities are false and phony and fake. They're not even real identities. They're identities. They're fake. All of them. The billionaires gave you that nonsense. The slave ship done got lost. Because this is what happened. Because the Arabs set up slave trades. So I got issues with them. They went down to Africa and said, hey, African king, can y'all go find some poor slave small tribes and get some slaves for us? And the Arabs went and got them. And so I'm mad at the Africans because the big African tribes went and got my people. I got here. And then the white people that y'all always hate all the damn time, they got it, they tapped into it. In fact, come to think about it, the last people to be involved in slavery is the ones y'all hate the most. I don't even understand y'all. Y'all don't make no damn sense. And that's why I called your identities archaic, because they're fake and phony. Y'all just preying on predating on the ancestors' bones. Babylon. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna look at the video. Y'all like the video? Y'all ain't like the video? I told you we gonna sit here. I'm gonna run my mouth. We gonna sit here. Vive la France! I know some other French words. Quelle est-il? That's what time is it? What time? Cause I'm gonna constantly. I'm gonna ask y'all what time is it. Let me see. How many likes on that video? I saw 4 minutes ago. It better be 10. If it ain't 10, I might just turn the camera off and go about my slavery life. It's 5. Nope, ain't starting. I'm tired. Y'all think I'm playing? I'm gonna turn the mic off. You know what? I'm gonna put Peter Tosh right on. I posted the link. Until I get 10 likes on yesterday's video, we not doing nothing today. We not doing that. We was gonna talk about, what we gonna talk about? We was gonna talk about Shennanigans Planet. I know, no, because if y'all want me to do videos, I ain't doing video. I'm gonna put on Peter Tosh. Put Peter Tosh on right here. Peter Tosh on the. Nope, you can see right here. You think I'm playing with you? I ain't playing. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm a real thug. I'm thug life. I'm thug when it comes to this. I ain't playing. We gonna sit right here. Oh, I can't play because y'all hear it, then it's no. Oh, Johnny be good tonight. I'm gonna sing Peter Tosh for y'all over there. I ain't doing it. Sit right here. tonight. Nope. One, two, three, four, five, six. 6 ain't gonna cut it. Well, what is that? Who said that? Because of what? Hang on. Hang on, Peter Tosh. What? You got an excuse? Do we got an excuse? Got an excuse? It's because they're too lazy to sign a due. Yeah, well, Michael, you know what? I'm gonna listen. Okay, that's not an excuse. I'm not buying it. I'm not. Because what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Is, you know, if you want me to say what you want me to say, then what's the point? I'm not here to say, well, people, nope, it's still 6. Nope, I still ain't going. I post the link one more time. I'm tired. Y'all think I'm playing. I ain't playing with you. Think I'm playing? I ain't playing. I'll post the link one more time. We're not doing this. If you just want to hear what you want to hear, then I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this, right? Because isn't that what the yogi said? Put it right here. Hit the link one more time. Click the link and press like. If I can't get 10, I'm wasting my time. What are we doing? If everybody wants to hear what the politicians say, what's the point? What's the point? Everybody hear what the leaders want to say. What's the point? We all want to sit here and play shenanigan world. Got a damn polar bear. Look, the polar bear look just like him. See how they work out? The polar bear look just like him. You just want people to say what you want to hear. And I'm not interested. I'm not interested. No, I ain't interested. Because you just want me to tell you that you good. That you good and you. No, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not from that world. I don't live in that world. If you want to change things, change hurts, people. Change hurts. So yeah, I hurt your feelings yesterday, so you unliked the video. I don't know who did that. I have no idea who did. John, what link? Share. I posted the link. You going over the video until I see 10 likes, I'm not starting. I ain't starting. Because y'all just want to hear what y'all want to hear. If I got a little bit of a following, ain't no big following. I got a little following. And I can only get one person to like or 4 people like and one person unlike. Nope, still not doing it. Nope, not doing it. We gonna sit here and listen to music. It's just because it's pointless. What's the point? It's like, dang it, I think I'm starting. Did I just start? I'm trying to be serious. Look at this. This is what bothers me right here. See, I don't ask y'all for nothing. I don't ask you for nothing. All you got to do is say, you know what? This is interesting content. This man is not here sitting here telling me what I want to hear. This man is not telling me what he thinks that we all should do. This man is saying what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? If you just want me to sit here and say, yes, okay, let's keep being stupid. Let's keep pretending that the politicians are taking money from all the industries, gonna make some cookies later. Let's keep saying that. I ain't gonna do it. All right. See, that shit, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. Every last one of y'all wrong. I don't know. Maybe I need to change my life. Every last. All right, this hot. What's wrong with y'all? Huh? Did your mama drop you on your head as a baby? Why do you want to hear what you not hear? See, you know what the funny thing is, YouTube is probably on that. Like, nope, don't let it go to 10 likes. Not 7. Look at that one person's feeling. Y'all suck. I'm calling shenanigans on y'all. The video was supposed to be about shenanigans. Look at that. Shenanigans. Still shenanigans. You can't even click the link. That's right. Somebody should be upset. And that's the upset person on my side. That's the person like, look, why ain't y'all go over there, click the daggone link, and press like on the damn thing right there. Because I don't think you don't have to create a profile on YouTube, do you? I don't know, do you? Am I messing? Maybe you do. Do you have to create a profile on YouTube to like a video? Oh, you do? Oh, dang it. Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. Did I do that? You don't have to like it. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. I'm like working for the deep state. I told you I'd answer that question, did I? I never said if I was CIA. I never said that. I ain't. Dang it, I'm helping the CIA. Did y'all see that? Dang it, how'd that happen? I don't know. All right, let's get started. I don't even know what I want to talk about no more. That was you, Diana. Thank you, girl. And Diana daughter said that I look cute. Thank you, Diana daughter girl. Thank you, Diana girl daughter. Thank you so much. But you have no idea that I want to live in a yurt. That's how it always works. That's how it works. Like, oh, he kind of cute, you know. But yeah, you know, I start talking about like Cobb living in a house and like talking about having a farm and growing vegetables and not going to the grocery store, not having medicine in the cabinet, which is what I wanted to talk about. And they're like, oh no, yeah, that cuteness started to fade. Like, it's like red flags, boy. That's the problem. We are not gonna talk about that today. Lord, here comes Caesar. We're not gonna talk about that today. Those are red flags. Nope, not to people happy in Babylon praying on their ancestors' bones. You know, no, they don't want to hear that. They want you to be a happy Roman. I'm not a happy Roman. I'm a barbarian, y'all. I'm in solidarity with the barbarians. I am not in solidarity with the people who want to keep up Babylon. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you to the people who understand that it don't matter if you don't have a YouTube profile. They still got your data, your draws, the size of this, that, the other. 8 people. Look, 8 people liked it. All right, that's good enough. All right, whew. Man, I got all ramped up in the morning. I don't even know what I'm gonna talk about. No, shenanigans. I gotta find a picture of Cartman real quick. I'm gonna talk about shenanigans. The reason why I talk about shenanigans, we live on Shennanigans Planet. So everybody's fake and phony, fake and foul profit, greed, and just turning on their ancestors. I was looking at the Pfizer thing. Remember the Pfizer thing we've been talking about for daggone near 3 months now? Pfizer had a cure for Alzheimer's. Remember that? Y'all remember that? They're keeping some secrets. Hang on, I can't start to like find Cartman. If you have not watched South Park, you are not gonna understand. But sometimes in life, you got to cause shenanigans. And this one works right here. Shenanigans. Nope, the police. Nope, not that. Which Cartman do I want? Yes, I want police Cartman. Shenanigans. You have to call shenanigans when things are foul and phony and faking. Pfizer, I'm calling shenanigans on. I'm calling shenanigans. Because you know what? I didn't spend enough time. I'm going to tell you how yesterday unfolded. First of all, and this is a real talk. When somebody gets sick in your family and they have a chronic illness, you got to come together. Right? When somebody calls you and says, Sister Aunt Alameda Mood or something, whatever her name is, I almost said my aunt name, my great aunt's name. I don't do that. You're supposed to come together and help people. I understand at the basis and the core of the pharmaceutical industry, it's all shenanigans. It's designed to be a shenanigan. I know you work in big pharma, you're not gonna be happy with this, but I say people, I worked in big pharma. People who work in big pharma are good people. A lot of good people. Really stupid, but I was stupid. So I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. Ignorant. Right word. Ignorant in understanding of how the body works and the world works. First of all, let me say this to say that they say, you know, you're practicing medicine on Facebook. I think that's a crime. That's a crime punishable by death in America. I'm not practicing medicine. I ain't telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I do. I'm telling you what I understand. And what I understand is this: your body is not a chemical machine, okay? 98% monkey, you're not a chemical machine. Chemicals are a part of the conversation. You will never take an industry designed on chemicals and cure any damn thing. Anything. It's not gonna happen. Your body's not based in chemicals. The reason why you have a pharmaceutical industry that's banned all natural medicines that actually are effective, like cannabis, which is a food, is simply because they want to prevent or treat disease. They do not want to cure anything. The whole industry is shenanigans at its base. You're not going to solve biological problems with chemicals. Chemicals go in and subvert activity, right? They kill cells and they bind to things. They cause problems with the natural biological processes, which means they can sell a hell of a lot of that chemical, all right? Alzheimer's, which is what I was looking at yesterday. They're not trying to cure Alzheimer's. And no, Pfizer didn't almost have the cure for Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's, what that was about, and don't get me lying. I do that. It's a word that I forgot. I was looking at last night. But Pfizer wasn't, the medication that they had could have prevented Alzheimer's. And I was like, prevented? How was that something they'd want to keep secret? They got a drug that can prevent Alzheimer's. Why would they want to keep that secret? Oh, well, they're keeping it secret. I'm calling controlled opposition on it. Because if you look at the pharmaceutical industry and what they're doing with Alzheimer's, they're not trying to cure it. Hell no, they don't want to cure that. They're not stupid. Do you think that did they cure AIDS? Hell no, they didn't cure no damn AIDS. They all had the vaccine for AIDS, or 12 companies filed for the human trials testing. None of them succeeded at it. They don't want to cure it. They want to convince you they're trying to cure it. You can't cure biological things with chemicals. All you can do, it's like trying to cure peace with war. Right? You can't take an outside agent and put it in a system and cure something. You cure war with food. You cure it with love and empathy. World hunger, how do you cure that? The same way we cured it when we were in elementary school. You went to school at the age of 6 and your friend didn't have lunch, you gave him some of your lunch. We cured war. We knew how to cure war hunger back then. It's called share. And then we shunned the people who didn't want to share. Don't get me talking about these Democrats and Republicans. So no, they're not trying to cure Alzheimer's. They don't give a damn about you and your Alzheimer's. They want everybody in the world on Alzheimer's medication, preventing it. The only thing more profitable than a person getting a disease, millions of people, and treating the side effects is convincing everybody that they got to take the medication. They got to take the chemical, because it's not a medication. They got to take the chemical to not get the disease. Please, Pfizer gonna make billions of dollars. They say, oh, well, it's because they were about to, the patent runs out and then people can make the generics. They're still gonna make billions of dollars. Do you understand there's 7 billion people on this planet? And if you convince them all they're gonna die in a fog and not know who their family and friends and everybody is, if they gotta buy your medication, everybody will pop those pills like vitamins. So no, I'm calling controlled opposition and shenanigans on this idea that Pfizer almost had a cure. It's bullshizzle. Bullshizzle. Because they banned every natural medicine. It's Shennanigans Planet. All right, I didn't read one damn comment. All that. So you told me to watch this dude video. I've been here for 25 minutes and you ain't saying nothing. He took 25 minutes to say that he looked at the Alzheimer's medic. Shut up. Love you. Love you. We related. Everybody know we're related. I'm just saying, everything is shenanigans. That's why the polar bear is white. Why? Because it looks just like that damn seal. And that seal not supposed to know that that's a polar bear. I'm saying in this analogy, you're the seal. All right, you don't know that the pharmaceutical industry is a predator. They are. The world is designed for predation, and they're not bad. They're not bad. They're doing what we accept. They're doing what we allow. We refuse to call them on their bullshizzle, and so they do what they want to do. And this is how they make money. They can only make money with chemical patents, things they design, and so now side effects is just a natural thing. It's a household world, and that's why, Diane, it don't matter if you got friends think I'm cute. I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs, and I'm a little skittish about people who do drugs. I'm a little skittish, because you know why? Because epigenetics. Part of why I'm not big in big pharma now. Epigenetics. Every pill you pop in your mouth, all your what is it? Vicodin and headache medicine and Tylenol and the stuff with the blue bumps on your feet and the things that got the earwax. And you just keep popping pills. I gotta pop this pill so I don't have Alzheimer's. They're turning everybody into drug addicts. And I'm not sure I want to live in drug addicts. I'm a little concerned because women did. They used to grind up like pots and pottery and put it in the soup. They just put it in the ground glass, and you don't need somebody flipping out going crazy because they're taking some kind of medication out of CVS. Epigenetics, it flips your gene. Epigenetics, once again, is the study of every cell in the body, determines what genes it's gonna flip at creation time. And if your body is full of something the pharmaceutical industry made, it's flipping genes, and nobody has any damn idea why it's flipping them genes. Nobody knows the long-term effects of your DNA being altered because you take something because you got earwax. All right? All right. Whew. I'm gonna read comments. I'm calm down. But it's Shennanigans Planet. It's all shenanigans. It's all shenanigans. Like my political friends, they're still trying to convince me, you need to vote for this person. And they're gonna make us cookies after the election. I like your politicians ain't gonna make us no damn cookies after the election. They don't make cookies. They don't bake nothing. And if your politician bakes some cookies, you better not eat it. They all take money from the same shenanigan industry. They all take money from the people oppressing and poisoning us. Why would you believe after the election they're gonna make cookies? Did they impeach Trump? Somebody? I'm sorry, I asked that. I don't care. I don't even want to know. I think somebody said, I saw a post, it looked like they impeached him. I think Daniel posted something. Oh, you liked it for me? Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Lee Desi. You awesome sauce. I don't even know who Lee Desi, but I love you. Thank you. I appreciate your support. That tells me that I can say honest things and I don't have to be false. Because that's what the unlike button is for, right? They can press unlike because I don't like it. My politician is making cookies for us after the election. I'm like, they're not making cookies. They didn't make the universal health care work. They didn't make the wall work. They didn't make none of it work. They'll never do what you want them to do. Not most of the time. Like, oh, they're gonna make us cookies after the election. They're not making cookies. They can't cook. And if they do, it's gonna be poison and they're gonna put some brown glass in there. But that's the unlike for it. Like, you said something I don't like. And unfortunately, like on Facebook, it's good because you can press the angry face and we know that means that, you know what, oh, you can tickle my soul, man. You can tickle my tummy, you can tickle my indoctrinated tummy. But that's for adults. Because adults understand that they're them, right? And we don't really know ourselves. We're indoctrinated to be stupid. Hang on, let me find Carmen. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I think that's why I used to like Howard Stern. To be honest with you, I think that's why I used to watch Howard Stern, because Howard Stern used to say things that just pissed you off. I didn't like what he said. I didn't like what he said at all, and I would tune right back in. You know, I think that's why Sadhguru is my guru. My friends are like, don't trust Sadhguru. He's controlling opposition. He works for the state. He says things. I'm gonna put Cartman right out here on the ice. Because shenanigans. He's trying to tell the seal right there. He's trying to tell the seal, damn it, that's a polar bear. That's not a pharmaceutical industry, right? That's not a Department of Defense. That is not, no. These people ate and killed your ancestors, and you laying out here chilling, relaxing, eating Twinkies and cookies and taking their medications like everything gonna be okay. It's not gonna go that way. Howard Stern is, you know what, Kelly? See, you proved my point, right? He said Howard Stern is a fudge tart. Exactly, because he pisses you off. That means he says things you're supposed to hear. Like, that's actually how that works. When people say things that are outside your realm of reality because they're playing a different arcade game, that's who you tune into. You see what I'm saying? Yes, you proved the point. Thank you. And no, we did not stage that. I'm chastising him live. All right, let me read some comments. But it's a Shenanigan Planet. Don't trust the model for the world, because the model for the world was written by the people who own everything that's on all the corners, thriving in a time where everybody's starving. That's how you know who the predators are. The drug companies, the CVSs and the Walgreens, the banks, everybody in bed with them. That's how you know who did something. Sorry I was late. I'm liking it. Thank you, Diana. Oh, that was me. $1 billion. Exactly, Miss Tree. They're gonna make big money on that. But they got me. They had me, Miss Tree. They had me for 3 months. I was like, Pfizer, you give us that prevention medication. What's wrong with you? Pfizer back like that. Dumb monkeys. We gonna fight. You know what? If there's 7 companies that all do generic drugs for Alzheimer's, and there's 7 billion people on the planet, and Pfizer one of the first ones, because it wasn't even for Alzheimer's, it was for something else that their medications, their chemical is for. That means they're gonna make $1 billion. If they make $1 profit on the drug, they're gonna make $1 billion a year. And Miss Tree, how much do drugs cost? I know you don't do drugs. I know you don't, girl. But how much do drugs cost? They ain't gonna make $1 on that medication prevention. Because who isn't gonna take the chemical who isn't actually going to take the chemical to prevent Alzheimer's? Everybody gonna take it. But this is the problem with Shenanigan world. This is the problem with having an industry based on pure shenanigans, because they don't let the natural people do it. And the thing that boggles my mind about Alzheimer's, as I was looking into it, there was a study done with nuns. See, the interesting thing about Alzheimer's is when you die, I'll say it right. So Alzheimer's and dementia are different, all right? You know, Alzheimer's I'm saying it wrong. Dementia has side effects, right? You can tell because you start losing your memory. Almost everybody has Alzheimer's. It has to do with this plaque buildup, I forgot the name of it, that intercepts the dendrite connections between your receptors, and so you start to lose memory. The interesting thing about that is this study on nuns showed that these nuns all had dementia, but none of them had the symptoms. right? They were all firing. They didn't forget the name of the grandmama and this, that, and the kids, blah, 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 blah. And they said it has to do with the number of connections you have, that if you have one connection and that connection gets plaqued, then you lose that memory. And that's probably a really layman's term explanation of it. This is the best way I can put it, because I'm not going to show the TED Talk of the doctor who said it, because I'm banning TED Talk. Banning TED Talk. I don't like TED Talk. I watch TED Talk to learn my education. I'm not going to support them in any other way. Oh, wait, I got that thing messed up. And so the interesting thing is they didn't show any symptoms. So we know there are natural ways to prevent dementia-like side effects just by using your brain. Just by using your brain. See, what I do, when sometimes somebody comes down with a chronic illness, because we did this in my family, I don't go to the family doctors. I'm gonna tell you this, I love them to death, but they're idiots. They're ignorant. Best word, ignorant. The family doctors are ignorant because they don't go to the conventions put on by the Mayo Clinic. They don't go to the conventions put on by the Cleveland Clinic. I go straight to them. I go straight to them. I got a text from a friend said that somebody has some Alzheimer's. I said, you know what? I've been meaning to look into this because we were talking about the Pfizer thing. And so I went straight to the Cleveland Clinic because that's all I care about. They're the ones who do the research, who put on the conferences, that teach your doctor that hadn't figured out, they ain't gonna figure it out for 10 years because they're not gonna go to the conference every year. They're gonna go play golf. They're going to the Keys, they're going to the Bahamas, and eventually they're gonna come around to your disease and go to that conference. By that time, you're gonna die. So you go straight to the people who are really well in tune. There's a reason why when these billionaires over in Dubai, when they get sick, they go to the Cleveland Clinic. There are times when they take over a whole floor over there because they don't want to sit there and smell the air with you. You poor. There might be some millionaires at the Cleveland Clinic. They don't want you breathing out the air. They don't want you breathing in the air they breathe out, and they damn sure don't want to breathe in the air that you breathing out. Because the doctors there are cutting edge. Cutting edge. You got a chronic illness, go to a cutting edge doctor. Don't go to somebody that went to France when they should have been at the conference. That's the problem with turning healers into chemists. Shenanigans. It's all shenanigans. You got to free the doctors. One of the doctors watching right now, like, you know what, this dude, I'm trying to free you, bro. Lady, I'm trying to free you. I want you to make your own decisions. You went to school. You were that little kid when I was riding my bike and I put that ramp because wasn't that bright. We put the center blocks in like the old rotten plywood, ride the bike down the hill, hit the ramp. Ah! Pow! And one of your friends actually cares enough to come touch the blood. Come touch and wrap a bandage around and stuff, like just trying to help people. That's what doctors want to be. They just want to help people. That was that kid. Like the police, same one. That was your friend that come running up and jump in the fight when somebody kicking your butt. Kids, we were perfect. As kids, we were perfect. But then we go into industries that make us really foolish. We go into industries based in shenanigans. You got an American Medical Association owned by pharmaceutical companies. And of course, that means if the only tool you have is a hammer, then every problem has to look like a nail. And that's what's wrong with the farm. That's what's wrong with all these industries. All they got is one tool, which is owned by a billionaire. I believe pharmaceutical is Rockefeller, if I'm not mistaken. Chemicals is DuPont, and it might be Mellon. Banking is Rothschilds. That's the only tool they got. And so they ban everything else. Why? Because they've been doing that from the very beginning. They make it crony, and that's how they make their money. So they convince the public that every problem in the human body, which is biological, is fixed by a chemical. Why? Because they want to keep fixing it. They don't want you to be sustainable and healthy. Otherwise, they give everybody cannabis. So I was posting the other day. I said, your government cares about, I posted this morning. The government cares about you when they legalize cannabis, legalize hemp. All of it, 100%. And they take that 4 healthy food group thing and they put in 5. A cannabis family. Cannabis is more health. It's healthier than everything on that damn list. And your body says so, not me. I'm not like I know anything. I listen to my body. My body has an endocannabinoid system. It does not have an endo-dairy system. It does not have an endo-meat system. It doesn't have an endo-vegetable system. It does not have an endo-fruit, apple, a Wheatie bread, Twinkie, bagel, coffee. It doesn't have any of those endo systems. It's got an endocannabinoid system, and that tells you we've been eating that damn thing for millions of years. Your government give two dams about you. They put cannabis everywhere, and they put in the kids' lunches, they put in the friends' lunches, they put in everybody's lunch. You have the cannabis creamer, you'd have cannabis milk, you'd have cannabis flour, you have cannabis drink and beer and cannabis. You'd have to be quiet because your body loves that plant, and it's food. People, it's not medicinal. It's food. And these people are fools. Because they got a 4, is it pyramid 4 or 3 now? I forgot. When I was a kid, it was 4. Shenanigans. I'm calling shenanigans on the whole thing. Because at the 4 healthy food group is a 4 disease group. Hell no, the Oprah and them damn group. Who's that? How do we both find? It's always one. Y'all know it's always one in the family. It's always one. It's always one. Hell no, Oprah ain't no food. I don't have an Oprah cannabinoid system. I ain't got that. Oh, crabinoid. See, listen to say, oh, crabinoid system. You know how bad that sound? That sound like you old crap. You can't even sound old. You know how important words are? Oh, but you sent me down another app. Words are important. Words is spells. I was watching a video Jasmine sent me. Oh my God. Words are spells. English language, run, girl, run. Run, darling. Get the hell out. The English language, we casting spells everywhere. I'll post a link, you can watch it. It wasn't on Facebook, it was on YouTube, so I can't do a watch party. But you say, oh, crabinoid. Oh, crabnoid. We don't have no oh crabinoid system. It's not food, man. It's always one. All right. Are we looking at the news today? Y'all got something y'all want to talk about? It's to me a Shenanigans Planet. I asked the question, what are your favorite shenanigans? Like, did you go in the military and think you were going to defend your country? You just got to be honest. Like, say, you know what? Because that's why I am. I work for these industries. That's my problem. I worked for them. I did IT for I sat in there just after, I believed everything. I worked in the chemical industry. I worked in the pharmaceutical industry. I worked in the fast food industry. I worked for government and banking. I done jumped around to a bunch of them. And everywhere, eventually, when I started to realize, I'm like, all these people are the same people. Not the people who worked there, because the people who worked there, they were good people. The police officers wanted to help. The people in government wanted to fix things and feed the world. The doctors all wanted to help, and the chemists, they all wanted to make medications to save grandmommy and grandbaby. And the fast food, yeah, that's one industry. I had to think about if they were trying to help. I know a whole bunch of them. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that they were trying to help, but they were trying to put food in people's bellies for cheap prices. Yes, there you go. There you go. Everybody was trying to help, but the boards of all those groups were all the damn same. They were all the same. Shenanigans. But the industries are based on shenanigans. I'd sit in the board and they were all trying, how do we sell our product as cheap as possible? And the answer was always by the laws, by the legislation. Cronyism worked. Johnny D. Good, Johnny D. Good turned into Johnny D. Bad, which is Johnny D. Rockefeller. And he realized cronyism and buying the laws and being corrupt, beating out the competition by taking their ability to do business is how you win. And so that's what they do. And so everything is literally shenanigans. The tops of all industries, the tops of all boards, it's all shenanigans. And so is religion. It's all real. I'm confused on the religion. You know, I was listening to, I'm gonna tell you one more thing and I'm gonna read the comments. Bo finally, he ain't reading no damn comments. He's excited that he done had too much coffee. I am gonna read the comments in a minute. I just gotta tell you what I found. I don't think people understand me. I don't think they understand. I get excited, y'all. I like y'all send me stuff and I watch it. I'm like, oh my God. You know, I was, somebody sent me an Alan Watts video. I was listening to Alan Watts and I already got my friends. Alan Watts is a monster. Yeah, he probably is, but we're all monsters. He said, and I check my science on this. Check my history on this. Listen to this. You know how I say, like, I still love to read the Bible and scripture, and I dip into the Quran, and I love stuff like that. I love ancient texts and archaeology and what the ancestors wrote down, because I don't think the religions own any of that stuff. And I always debate, like, I'm always looking for what would a creator of universes inspire in people that love sustainability, and what would the little g gods inspire in people? What would the kings and lords and those trying to control everybody inspire in people? And I always had an issue with the worship part. I always had an issue with the word, because I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why would a creator of universes, dimensions and quantum physics and biology, and, yeah, I guess chemistry and mathematics, why would it want me to worship it? I don't understand that. Because usually that's what happens when your friend beats you up. I had one friend, he's just a little bigger than everybody else. That was we were friends, but you sparred with him, he'd beat you down, right? Then you on his knees, you say, uncle, because you get the kids down. And you put your arm behind their back and you start choking with, this is how boys do. Girls, y'all, well, some of them did that. And you say, uncle, like to worship him. Alan Watts said that worship actually came from kings, by kneeling. That when you presented yourself in front of the king, that we would do what probably Daniel would do. Have a little sword back here and you go before the king and you stab him. Why? Because the kings, you should not have power. The kings are unfortunately like leaders and politicians. They're always oppressing somebody. And eventually that person says, yeah, we need to go see the king. Why? Because, I don't know, the king poisoned the hay, poisoned the well, and I got something for the king. And so Daniel, who is that? Who's it? Beaufort, Susan, Hillary, Lori. Somebody said, I need to see the king. And you take that knife. Well, if you're standing in front of the king, you take that knife and stick him in the gullet. And the kings figured that out. And the kings were scared of the population. They were scared of the serfs because the serfs back then weren't us. They wouldn't call shenanigans. They would keep eating the steak happily. And so the king would make you kneel before them. Why? Because it was a pose where you couldn't strike as well. Right? They would search you, but when you came before the king, you had to kneel in a form of worship on your knees. And that's what we did in church growing up. We had to kneel on our knees. And so I'm asking, is that really rooted in religion? Or is that rooted in kingism? And to me, it sounds like kingism. It actually makes some sense. I'm not sure if that's history, but it sounds about right. It sounds about right. And so the scared kings took this idea of worship and kneeling, and now it's enforced into these ancient scriptures where there were truthful things about things that the big G God inspired. And so now that's what I'm saying when you go through scriptures, look for little G-ism and look for big G-ism. Because if I'm a seek God, I'm a seek God. And it doesn't make sense that, well, why does God want me to worship and be on my knees like my friend who just beat me in the head and got me in a chokehold? I know, sounds crazy. I know you want to unlike now, don't you? You don't like that, But you just ask yourself, are you really here to find out what's true or not? That's what I call God. I just call it true. Are you really here to find out what's true? Uh-oh. They froze the comments? Yeah, they did. That's what happened. They need you worshiping Shennanigans Planet. I think the Facebook comments are frozen. Actually, that's a good thing too, because that means you need to go to Facebook. I can still see some down over here. Crab annoyances. Yes, crab annoyances. Crab annoys, not a thing. Listen to your body. Your body has an endocannabinoid system. Mystery, you already know. We need to be eating a lot of cannabinoids. We need to be eating a lot of hemp. Until your government get a clue and realize it's the healthiest thing probably on the damn planet. Eat a lot of hemp. Hemp milk, hemp bread, hemp flour, hemp lotion, hemp soap. Get as much cannabinoids in your system as possible because your body wants cannabinoids. Get them in your body any way you can. Your skin is literally the biggest organ on your body. Get them in until we get a government that's not based in shenanigans and bullshizzle and the rest of our friends figured out stop voting for these monsters. My grandparents never had symptoms of dementia. They had really good health behaviors their entire lives. Diana, when I looked at it, it's deep. It's beyond deep. And people, if you have friends that have Alzheimer's, you need to call them a lot. I think everything happens for a reason. You need to call them a lot and ask them questions. That's your homework. Yes, you get homework. It's like school, you get homework, but I'm not gonna make you get on your knees and stand in lines like the prison system. I don't stand in front of you and only I get to talk. Yeah, I say something stupid, look right over here, somebody say stupid right over here. I may agree, I may not, I may disagree. You got homework. Call somebody who has Alzheimer's and start asking them questions. Because the way that I understand it, I can try to pull up on the screen if you want. But the way the doctor from the Mayo Clinic explained it, which is like I said, the deepest ones on the planet, is that if you have Oh goodness gracious, we won't do. I need a prop. Where my French hat at? I got my French hat. If this is Miss Tree, this is my memory of Miss Tree right here. Boom, Miss Tree, okay. And this is that's not. What the hell is it? I don't know what this. I got stuff all around here like a ladle or something. And this is the connection. Oh, you can't see it's black. No, there you go, right there. Boom. I got one connection to Miss Tree. I know Miss Tree because that connection is there and solid and it's communicated. Well, plaque builds up in between that connection over time. So if that's my only access to this memory of Miss Tree, then after that plaque built up and I forgot the name of it, I'll forget who Miss Tree is. See, but if Miss Tree knows Diana, and I know Miss Tree because I know Diana because I do the videos, I got a connection from Diana that comes down this way. And if we talk a lot of times with Beaufont, I got a connection to Beaufont connection. So what's he see? So Miss Tree, me remembering Miss Tree is based in me having a link to that memory. And this is real layman's. This is real layman's, but he explained it in layman's because I'm 98% monkey in the Mayo Clinic. They seem to understand that they gotta explain things in ways that we can understand. And so when you call them and you make more connections to your friends and family and it's connected to the vacations and birthday parties and this, that, and that, and you called and said, talk about their mom and stuff, you brought them cannabis and you did, you have a lot of connections. And so when that one connection dies, the brain reroutes and finds Miss Tree through another connection. That's your moments. It's deep. That's why I don't, that's why I love to look at this stuff. That's why I have a life. Because it's interesting. Right? So if you know someone with Alzheimer's, one of the cures, which is never going to be a chemical, is what the nuns did. Because when they studied the nuns' mystery, they realized that those nuns were constantly activated. They were constantly creating synapses moments. And so they were creating connections because they were reading scripture. They were reading scripture and their brains were focused. And so when they died and they had Alzheimer's, they didn't show any symptoms of dementia because they had multiple connections to all their memories because their brain stayed active. And so what your job is when you love people with Alzheimer's or any old people is you call them. You keep their mind active. You ask them questions. You utilize and you create new pathways. That's how I heard it explained to me. It could be all fake news. I don't think it is. It sounds about right. And so the answer for Alzheimer's is cure. But we can help each other by polling each other. What we breathe out. How come this is frozen? I'm a little sad with that. Facebook, what's wrong with you? Gerard calls it okra. Did you say okra paranoid? Yeah, Sharon, I'm paranoid of okra because last time I had it, I threw it up everywhere. And that's a lie, but it's how I felt. It's what my body wanted to do. I trust my body. It's got an endocannabinoid system. It does not have an ochrocannabinoid system. On world hunger. So on the other thing on world hunger. So my statement is we've already solved world hunger. We solved world hunger a long time ago. We just don't want to go back to the fix. It's just sharing, right? It's that basic concept of if you see a tomato, eat the tomato because you're hungry. Take another tomato, stick it in your pocket so you got one for tomorrow. And the third tomato, you give it away. That's called living within your means and looking out for your community. You can take that and you can just deploy it across the world. We know how to do that. When you showed up to lunch, we all had our little bag lunches and your friend Johnny forgot it. No, Johnny got to go real next. Hillary forgot her lunch. We wouldn't sit there and look at Hillary. We weren't these apathetic bastards that we've become. That the Democrats and Republicans and Western privilege, America and Britain privilege and Canadian, we didn't look at places like Africa and Yemen. It's like, nah, you forgot your lunch. That's your problem. There were some kids that did that. The majority of us didn't do that. We looked down on them. If your friend forgot his lunch, you had that empathy at birth. And the first thing we would do is like, you know what? I give you a little piece of my peanut butter and jelly. Here you go. My friend would give you some of his potato chips. The other dude had a good mama. Got some grapes and organic stuff. And I give you a few grapes and someone else would give you a little piece of the chocolate thing. And so he had his lunch and we made up all of our lunch because that's what a family does. That's what friends do at the age of 7. Somehow between 7 and 22, they make you stupid. They make you apathetic. And so we fix it. World hunger doesn't need a solution. You don't need to solve it. We already got it. We just don't do it. All we got to do is share. Stop with the shenanigans. The shenanigans of political parties and apathy and robbing Peter to pay Paul, thinking that one day we ain't going to be Peter. You don't have to rob people to feed people. You just share with them. All you need is enough for you today You tomorrow, everything else you need to take care of people around you till everybody got some. And then we all can have 3 tomatoes. But until then, we gotta look out for each other. Yeah, because I'm not a what is the word for it? Someone who believes in like, you know, you're supposed to live bad and impoverished until everybody. I don't believe that. I'm not. First of all, I don't think you can actually give everything away. I think it's impossible. Babylon's not made that way. You know you have nothing when you're in the prison system and nobody knows you. Those are the only people that got nothing. You're always gonna have something that other people don't have. But you can live within your means. You can live frugal. Right? You don't have to have a McMansion when there are a lot of children that don't have houses. You're taking more than you share. Everybody needs to take more, because everyone only takes their share. It's like Thanksgiving. Nope, bad example. Thanksgiving, everybody takes more than they're supposed to. It's like most dinners. Everyone takes their share. And we need a planet that works that way. So World Hunger doesn't need to be solved. It was solved a long time ago. Swamp water smoothie for president. Yeah, well, we do need swamp water smoothies. It's important. I'm gonna try to fix this real quick. Swamp water smoothies are very important. You're supposed to drink swamp water. You're supposed to have a lot of cannabis in that swamp water too, and that's why they banned it. Because these pharmaceutical industries, they understood a long time ago. Not the people who work in it now, not even the people who run it now. The people who ran it, who created it a long time ago. They understood that. I'm gonna try to close this off and reopen it. They understood that if they take all your other options, you know, healing your body through natural medicines, through exercise, through all other ways, you wouldn't buy their medications. And so they banned all of that. And because they banned all of it, they're good to go. I don't know how to, oh, here we go. They banned all of it. It simply means that you have to buy their chemical product. It means that, you know, there are no cures, it's just chemicals. All right, I tried to reset it, it didn't work, so that's just what it is. You want to have live comments that show up here, you gotta go to YouTube. And you probably gotta like the video. I'm gonna get attitude next time on Monday. Happy Friday, everybody. You go watch Sancticism in the Car with Santos Bonacci, Los Angeles. Thank you. You'll get a big charge out of it. Thank you. Shenanigans. How holy are you? Is that holy to call corrupt corporations shenanigans that poison us? Brain curls and restructured access through the alternative pathways. Oh, go on, Miss Tree. That's what I mean. You talk to people who study these things, but that's what you're supposed to do when you care about people. You don't say, oh, you got chronic illness. Oh, you just go see the doctor. And understand that the doctor works with the pharmaceutical industry. Just understand that. We don't have many healers anymore. You have to join in. We got an internet with tons of information that you can go through and do some critical thought and help them. What would you do when your son dies? Game player 1. Daddy gets bored quickly. Who did throw under the bus today? It's man's engine. Love is not pretending. Yeah, love is not pretending. See, I'm not sure where you're going with a lot of that. Life is like a game, and when the sun goes away, if it does, we all gonna die. Anyway, we gonna all die a lot before that. Daddy gets bored quickly. Who did throw under the bus? Okay, that might be a line from a movie. I'm not picking up on that. But love is not pretending. I agree with you. That's why I don't like language. I like action. And action speaks louder than words. And the politicians never make cake. They always say they're gonna make a cake after the election. They never make a cake. So I don't believe none of their cakes. Read some comments and then look at the news. I'd like to hear your life story, Gerard. Oh my goodness. No, you don't, Susan. No, you don't. It'd be like one person. It'd be one. You'll be by yourself, and then you're gonna leave. You don't hear my life story. I was born. I was apathetic. I had a lot of people told me what I was. I grew up. I worked in industries. I realized that's not what I was. I started reading scripture. I had a lot of questions, and then I realized I had no idea who I am. That's it. That's my life story. So now I got a whole bunch of people around me that are showing me the shenanigans everywhere, showing me that we're seals and they're yelling shenanigans, and we're still sitting there eating a matrix steak like we're not in a matrix being controlled by a damn polar bear that's swimming around in the water. That's it. That's my life story. I have to read over here. I like Alan Watts. Susan says I like Alan Watts too. Haven't made it coffee yet. I'll catch up soon. All right, Bofon, make your coffee. Alan Watts is amazing. I like what he says. People say people have an issue with him. I don't know what the issue is with him, Hillary, but I listen to what he says, and it's pretty deep. Do I think I'm agree with Alan Watts everywhere? Absolutely not. I know I'm not going to. But he says some deep things, and so I pay attention to it. Words are spells. To understand is to stand under. Y'all gonna make me scare Susan away. Y'all said something deep. Words are spells. And it's the sick thing, Susan, who sent me that? Jasmine sent me. The sick thing about it is like when you look at the makeup of words, I'll post it. When you look at the makeup of words, it's really sick. English, there's something wrong with English. There's something, I mean, I'm not convincing you that I know it, but there's something really, really weird about the English language. It's like, you know what I was doing? I was looking at giants the other day. I love giants. I'm a giant. I think giants are real, or used to be. Because every culture, or most cultures across all the continents, they all said it. The Native Americans and the scriptures and the Aborigines and the Greeks, the Romans got accounts of fighting giants. So they were here, but it's weird because, well, where are all the giant bones? Right? Like we still got the footprints, but you can't find the giant bones. And I'm a little weird when it comes to things that don't make any sense. It's like Abraham Lincoln. This is what I was into the other day. Abraham Lincoln actually talked about how there are mounds full of giants all over the North America before he became president. He said that. It was one of his speeches a while back. So why would someone who became president even say that unless they weren't finding giants in mounds all over North America? They were real in the film. They were real. But it's weird that there's no bones, right? And everybody keeps saying, well, you know, it's because of Smithsonian. The Smithsonian's taking the bones. I get that. But do you think in the 1940s, when all these articles were appearing in these newspapers of these giants they were finding on islands in different places, agreeing with all these ancient texts, and even the Egyptians believed in that, and in India, Sanskrit texts. It's just weird, like in the 1940s, you think that there was like some organization that was so well put together that they could go around the world and grab every single bone? I don't think so. That's not how I don't believe that's real. There's something wrong. There's somebody, something, some energy, some force, some secret society or something that has a hell of a lot of power to do that in the 1940s when we still got ships that are powered by steam. And getting every single giant bone? That's why I'm more spiritual than anything else, because I don't think the world works how we think it does. I think that there are creatures here that we don't understand. You have to be in tune with something. You have to know a hell of a lot more than the general public to hide that, because then people blame it on Christianity. Say, oh, well, you know, it's the Christians, Judeo-Christian, blah, blah, blah. They were hiding the giant. Why would the Christians hide the giant bones? Doesn't make any sense to me, because the texts say that the giants existed. It would confirm Christianity. So why would there be any Judeo-Christian conspiracy to hide the giants? That makes no sense. It would confirm their belief system, that belief system, more than anything else. So to me, it just says that there's something else that we don't understand. There's something else that's around that knows a lot more than the rest of us. You can call it a demon if you want to, call it Satan, call it something. But we live in a matrix, and there are various forces at all levels and people and groups that control what's true, like the pharmaceutical industry. From top to the bottom, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Let me try to reset this real quick. I'm not seeing anything like comment-wise. Let's try to fix that real quick. But I believe a lot of things. I like stories and stuff like that. But I try to look for things that don't make any sense. And if what you're saying, you know, that we came from cave people, there were no giants and little people and fairies and whatever else, and what you say your version of history is true, then you shouldn't be finding giant footprints. All the ancients shouldn't have talked about them. You shouldn't have all that evidence. You'd have articles in the newspaper of them finding 9-foot giants, redhead giants in North America. You know, you wouldn't have all of that. Giant people with 6 fingers, and then the colonizers, you know, information confirms what the Native Americans said. Because there's stories there about giants. Got 6 fingers and they were cannibals. Confirming what the Romans said. But now we got government that says that these things aren't real and can't seem to find anything. And then to me, somebody's lying. Let's see if I can remember my password. So yeah, I find giants interesting. Nope. I forgot my password. I forgot my password. Let's just talk for a while. I'll try to do this. Any true God wouldn't want you on your knees. Just my opinion. It's creation. And that's what I think, Susan. That's what I think. That's how I know that they didn't get it right. But they can tell you it's the word of God, and they can convince people that the word of kings and the behaviors of kings, getting citizens to kneel because they were scared kings, is a God. I honestly, it doesn't make sense to me. What parent has their child kneeling before them? If God is a father, this creator of universes, this great quantum physics, scientific, whatever, it wouldn't want you kneeling. Not as a parent. It created you. It would want you to have free will. Is having free will, is it worshiping it? Is that free will? Kneeling before it? Showing, basically showing your belly, because that's like the dog thing, right? When the dog, one wolf meets the other wolf, they lay on their back and they show their belly in humbleness, like you can murder me anytime you want to, so you can trust me. Does God want that? If God wants that, then this God thing is a very scared creature. And why the hell would it be scared of us if it created all of this? A lot of people, like I said, they don't like to hear stuff like that, but I think the world is a place where there's a lot of secrets, a lot of liars, and a lot of shenanigans, because if you can control people by the information you give them, you can do a lot of harm to them. All right, try this. Password. I want to show you the words of spells videos, but there are a lot of them on Facebook. I might do a watch party with them later. That was kind of deep. And I'm not sure that I believe it, but I found it highly interesting. That the coincidences between what words mean versus the vibration that they have and where the words came from. All right, here we go. It's asking for my code. I'm trying to fix the comments. There are many reasons for problems with the brain. Yes, Susan, there are lots of them. Lots of reasons for problem with the brain. And the vast majority of them all are oligarchy. They all are, because if they're environmental, like autism, and most doctors agree with this, that this stuff is environmental. And so we know there's a big corporation that's putting something in the environment, the lotion, the food, the air, the water, that's behind most of these ailments. And so there are totally agree with that. There are a lot of things that can cause problems with the brain. And almost all of them are the problem of this voting. Because that fits. Because we keep voting for a government that has secrets, that's in bed with corporations, that's releasing things into our environment, in our bodies, end up in our brain, and then we get Alzheimer's. The leading cause of Alzheimer's in the future, when they look back, it's going to be because we kept supporting a government that was in bed with corporations poisoning the environment. All right. Nope. I did not get it, so you got to send that another way. Okay, hold on. Facebook is probably doing this because they just it's curtailing discussion. But this is how it goes. We gotta fight the problem. Fight the power. Maybe being on your knees also comes from the fact that people often fall to their knees when they're feeling weak and sick. Also, bowing my head while down is something I do when I'm not feeling well. Sounds good, Max. I like that. That sounds good. That's interesting. That is absolutely interesting. Could be. It doesn't answer the worship part. It answers the falling down. Because you're sick and you go before your God. It absolutely could be. The worship part is the only part that has to be addressed. This is what critical thinking is, y'all. 6 and as sharp as ever. She needs a lot and is physically active. And so that's interesting, Ivana, too, because people live to those ages prior to having this big old oligarchy, then it makes sense that, yeah, your body has ways around it. And that was the only one that I heard of, that you can do these brain exercises to resolve it. Or to make a way around it. All right, so that's not gonna work. Those comments gonna be frozen. So I'm just gonna read from both sides. That's just how it goes. I can't sit here and play with it. I got people live doing it to you. Looking outside yourself for answers only leads you to someone else's answer. Go in and find the whole connection. Absolutely. Well, I agree with that, Key. And I also say, look everywhere. Look everywhere. Like, why limit our answers to inside? Like, I do think that the whole biology of belief thing, there's something there, the whole consciousness and field thing, but I look everywhere. If it's an answer, it's an answer. If it's true, it's true. So I like to look everywhere for the answer, but I agree with you that, yeah, Tibetan monks, they know more than what we know. And they went totally inside. They lived in caves and mountains, but I don't think everybody has that ability maybe to go that deep. They don't have cannabis in there. They don't have psychedelics and some mushrooms in their area, or they don't have the ability to go that deep. So finding answers anywhere you can, whether it be on this website, this person, that culture, that area, this book, that book, and then confirm it with what's inside. Because I think God is inside of everybody. I think there's truth in that whole Gnostic thing. There's a creator, then you are a part of that creation. You're a part of that thing, and that thing loves you. That thing isn't going to put you in a place where the answers aren't. That's why I'm skeptic on the whole religion. You got to have my religion or you go to hell. One, I think this is hell. And two, how can you be saved if you're on a deserted island and you don't have access to that understanding? I don't think a creator would condemn anything to hell because of where it was born. And I'm not trying to shake your religion. I'm not trying to shake anything. I'm just saying, think about things. Think about things and confirm them with your spirit. And that was the whole Gnostic teaching, why they removed them out of the Bible, because it told you that you had the ability to access whatever that is. You don't have to go to Patricia or Christine or Rebecca or Daniel or me or anybody else to know what your creator wants you to do. That's how a kid knows how to share lunch. Nobody told me how to share. In fact, to be honest with you, my mother she probably got upset. She found out I was sharing my lunch. She probably wouldn't like that too. She didn't make that lunch. She ain't make that lunch with Johnny. She's in competition with Johnny's mama for jobs. But inside it was like, but even babies do that. So it's not even by the age of 7 we resolve world hunger. We resolved it by like the age, I've seen babies 2 years old. They watch you feed them. And when they're hungry, I didn't have kids that did that. To be honest with you, my kids did. They try to put food in your mouth. Like you go get a little scoop of that Gerber baby food, and you put it in your mouth, put it in their mouth, get little what was it? Cheerios. Don't ever feed your baby Cheerios. But I did that because I didn't know. And so glyphosate all in there. And you put them in the mouth and you're feeding the baby. I got my son, my middle son, he get like Cheerios and stuff. I got this pictures in my mind because I got that dendrite connection with Alzheimer's right now. And he got the Cheerios and everything. And I remember the day. It's a beautiful picture. I showed it. He's looking all cute. He don't look cute now. He's got a deep voice and everything. But he had like, little Cheerios falling down. And if I get too close, he'd take that little hand, because a Cheerio to his hand, this is my deodorant. A Cheerio in that little hand like this, he'd take that Cheerio and try to put it in your mouth. And he tried to do that to me. He'd take the Cheerio and he's like, hey, daddy, hey, daddy. He didn't say that, but he was in the mind that, and I closed my mouth. I was like, he ain't putting that in my mouth. Hell no. I know where your fingers been. You got all kind of goo and juice and, and Cheerios and things in your mouth, probably pick your boogers. I'm not going to eat that, but I pretend I eat it. You know how you do that with the babies? Because we knew at the age of 2, this God thing, and you're supposed to share. You're supposed to share. Your political parties, your politics don't do that. They don't want to share. They want to make as much money as they can and retire. So that's why I can't vote for you. And then why I couldn't eat the baby trying to feed me. But he knew. He like, daddy feeding me. I'm going to feed daddy. I'm learning. Like, this is what's good to do. And we teach kids when we feed them from very young. You're supposed to feed people. We're supposed to be feeding the world, not starving the world. I call shenanigans on that. I call shenanigans on world hunger. Because it's shenanigans too with the organizations you donate to, because they're not putting up grow systems. They're not teaching people to fish. They're just sending them sandwiches and getting them on camera. Or they got to get them on camera first and then they give them the sandwich. They did that the whole time when we were kids. I call shenanigans on all of that. If these people wanted to help with world hunger, they'd be putting up grow facilities down there so that people could grow their own food. They give them seeds and chickens. If the American government gave two damns about you, they give every American a chicken. Why? Because if you have a chicken, you can feed yourself. You can have more chickens, you can feed your whole neighborhood. They literally ban chickens where I live. Ban chickens. You can only have 5. And you can't have a rooster. And you can only have 3. Why? Because they're starving you. And it's not that they're bad people. They're stupid people. They're ignorant people. They're not bad people. It's just the system. The system is the problem, not the people, not the political party. It's the system. The system requires that they do that. Requires that them tell you they're going to bake you cookies and cake later after the election and never bake you cookies and cake because they need you to buy them at the grocery store. Right? They basically banned living off grid. Oh, I got to go to my timeline because I was thinking about it this morning. I'm going to go to my timeline. I actually put it right where the where the Facebook thing is, because that damn thing ain't gonna work today. Oh hell no, I didn't said something. Somebody got me. Nope, we gonna shadow ban. Take the comments. Take the emoticons. Let me go down. There was one on off grid. Off grid. Like Sister Diana asked me, I think what you said, your daughter said something, and she's like, yeah, well, I don't know him. We not friends, but you know, I follow him. I correct you, Diana. We are not friends. We are not friends. We're family. That's number one. And you don't follow me. Nobody follows me. We don't do follow the leader here. We don't. There's no leaders. Stupid. That's stupid. I follow you. I follow y'all more. That's where these thoughts come from. Because Diana said something on my thread, and it led the whole Monday or Tuesday's whole conversation. The whole conversation about Plato and democracy came from her. I watch y'all, I follow y'all. Nobody follow me. What the hell you follow me for? Shoot, profile might have gave me some okra. I might have some gas. Don't follow me. All right. No, there was something about off-gridding. Here we go. And I'm not even sure what I meant by it, but I'm gonna click on it and show it to you. Because I look at people's posts and it just drives thought. And you look at people's posts and it drives thought. My timeline. Where's the specific timeline screen? That, there we go, right there. That one should work. We're gonna have to move Cartman over. What I gotta do over here. All right, now, where's right here? Bye. All right, let me move Cartman on over here by the pole. Put Cartman between the pole over there. There you go. You know he's trying to warn everybody. Oh, look, Facebook is working again. What is the animation is? Why is there a direct correlation between living on grid and being comfy and defying progress? Fighting anything that's progression based. And this is not a progressive comment, because there ain't no progressives in my country. One progression. And I got some friends that live off grid. But if you live on grid and you're comfy, if you're getting everything you need from Babylon, life feels good. You got a pleasant life, you got a nice car, good family, good kids, they're in nice schools. It makes you anti-progress. That's how Rome is designed. Rome puts you up in that middle class, upper class pedestal, and upper lower class perhaps, where it gives you a comfy life. When people get pleasant, they get lazy. When people have a pleasant, privileged American life, they get lazy. And I always say American, I say Western, because as soon as I say privilege, everybody jumps in with some color privilege. I'm like, shut up. You live in America. You got American privilege. You have the ability to get a lot more comfort than a child in Yemen that's being starved in order to put whatever steak or beans that are on your table. It makes you, a pleasant life makes you really apathetic. There's a direct relation. On-grid pleasant life. I'm not talking about off-grid pleasant life, because it makes you complicit with the grid, right? It makes you want to keep the grid. You know, the grid is why you got Wi-Fi. The grid is why you got this and that and other. And your pleasantries all come from the grid. So it's weird that you keep voting for politicians that are banning off-grid living. Because keeping you pleasant and on the grid is where they get their power from. It's where they get their money and their retirement from, making you a dependent on the grid. Think about that. Just think about that. These people aren't who they say they are. They're not who they say they are at all. It's weird not having the comments doing what they're supposed to do. But everything is shenanigans. It's all shenanigans. If you live in a country and they're banning you living off grid, they ban off grid communities. They got regulations for solar panels, things that would prevent what they say is causing climate change, prevent destroying ecosystems and getting you off of fossil fuels. And they're banning wind turbines in your community. These people are lying to you. Shenanigans. They're not serious. You know. They're poisoning you by the air, food, and the water. They're always backing corporations. They ain't never baking no cookies after the election, even though they say they're gonna bake a whole bunch of cookies. They never bake cookies, and if they get their baked cookies, they ain't gonna be cookies. We gotta be smart enough to see it. We gotta be, and we're not smart enough to see it yet. Of course, there are demons, Christine says. Yeah, I think there are demons, Christine. I think, because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Why, who would know to hide free energy devices? Who would know to create classify? Who would, like, I know the cabals are smart, the kings and lords going way back into the different centuries. It's just a little too smart to hide the giants and ancient archaeology and know the things that Edgar Casey said. Like, to me, something is around that knows a hell of a lot more. How would they know to ban cannabis? How? Say, oh, well, that's just, you know, who's the guy with the paper mill and the pharmaceutical industry? Like, I know those guys got together, right? They got the whole practical money reason for banning it. It's still banned. It's still banned. It's what, 20 years after we realized that this is a medicinal plant and this cures things, and it's still banned. And no politician is moving forward. You say, oh, in my state cannabis, in your state cannabis is not legal. You need a license for it. That's not called legal. That's called crony. They still haven't done it. But it's just weird. Like, how would they know that that plant does all the things? It's psychedelics. How would they know that those plants take you to some sort of place that make you question shenanigans, right? Got all my druggy friends tell me all the time. You know, that's what psychedelics do. They make you question your existence and question your government, question authority, question control. And so they ban it all. That's because something new. Who knew? What knew? Nothing that I seem to understand. There's some sort of demonic something that's on this planet. Anyway, maybe the giants live inside the earth. Oh, here come Yvonne. They have no reason to come out and communicate with us and our effed up society. I think that there's a lot of evidence in that theory, Ivana. I think there's a lot of evidence in that theory, and it comes from like the Hopi when they talk about the ant people. It comes from, was it Siddhartha? Like we started talking about yesterday, under that mountain where Shiva supposedly is, the Mount Kailash. What's it called? It's called Agartha, right? The underworld. You know, Admiral Byrd, we did a video about that, and they all talked about these people that live underground. Do people live underground? Yeah, well, all throughout Turkey, they found that cave system that goes down 11 layers deep. We go underground. When bad things happen, we go underground. When bad things happen, moles go underground. When bad moles didn't come back up. When bad things happen, the fish in the sea go deep in the ocean. That's why they're questioning if the megalodon lives deep, and if the giant squid that used to live in the higher layers of the ocean went deep. The catfish went deep. The crab, everything went deep because bad things were happening. We go deep when bad things happen, and we live on a planet where bad things are always happening. Asteroids are always coming. Super volcanoes are always blowing up, and so the idea. So if there's a Gigantopithecus, or there's an ancient type of human that grew to be 25 feet, if we didn't kill them all, when bad things happen, they went underground. And if you look at the scripture and you listen to the Native Americans, they say that these giants were cannibals, right? This Nephilim, this hybrid between aliens and humans, or gods and angels and demons, or whatever. They're cannibals. And there's stories all over Native American history saying that they would come raid their camps and grab their children and eat their children. And so they started killing all of them. The scripture said that they were cannibals, right? And so that's a bad thing. You know, we're starting to win this war with them. They can't eat us as much because we're starting to gang up and multiple tribes getting together, the Roman Empire going off and fighting that last giant that story talks about. And yeah, they'd probably go underground. They'd hide, they'd get in a spaceship, go somewhere. They wouldn't stay here. So do they live underground? I think so, probably with Bigfoot. I think if Bigfoot is real, Bigfoot is a Gigantopithecus, and it probably lives underground. It learned to just stay down because it saw us coming. Like, oh, here comes some 98% monkeys. I came from the gorillas. I don't want to be around. They're cannibals within their own rights. They just cannibalize in different ways with pentagons. Organic, genetic, or trauma brain injuries. Organic, genetic, or traumatic brain injuries. Yeah, and then there's that too, Lori. I mean, a lot of things could cause it. A lot of things could cause it. Let's talk about accidents. Let's say the traumatic brain injuries. We get traumatic brain injuries mostly from where? I'd probably say car accidents, right? Car accidents. Is there any organizations around that are in bed with automobile companies that are not creating self-driving cars that don't get in car accidents? This is why I don't fight technology, Lori. I think technology is a solution for many, many, many things. When you have self-driving cars, you will have no accidents. When you have cars that don't carry around tanks of things that go boom, then you have like lithium battery cars. They don't kill everybody. You know, and so is there a government around that's hiding Nikola Tesla's with anti-gravitic experimentations and levitation? Yep. Once again, cause of autism, cause of Alzheimer, cause of most brain injuries, cause of most diseases is oligarchy. You know, it's cronyism. Corporations in bed with government. It always comes back to that. That's the beautiful thing about being able to do root cause analysis. You can drill down on a problem and realize who the problem actually is. It's Shenanigans. It's a cartoon character. It's a fat kid on a cartoon character. He told you what it was. We just don't listen. Because he'll eat all the cookies and drink all the milk. So the next thing you know, my grandmother cried because Santa was gonna eat all her cookies. See, Citizen Deb, I think we're talking about something. That's a very different thing. Very different thing. Santa eating cookies. I'm not gonna touch that one. I'm not gonna touch it. You move on. Move on. Next comment. Santa, yes, he does eat cookies. And that's where babies come from. All right. Gerard, you may be compromised and have negative entities attached to you, like many of us, if not all of us. I have an incredible friend who detaches negative entities. Yeah, I have a few friends that do that, Susan, too. And I think everybody's compromised. That's what I think that. I do. I think that everybody's compromised. I think we live on a compromised planet. We all have the mainstream media. We all have friends that are compromised. I think everybody's compromised. Yeah, I have a friend. She hadn't said that I got any things hanging on the back of me. Not yet. That's why you can't trust me. That's why I say I don't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody. There's so much in this world we don't understand. It seems weird. It seems, we're told to say that that's crazy. But the ancients all told us that that's true. That these spiritual things were all here. Our eyes, they only tell us, or our brain only tells us what actually absorbs light, because that's due to food, right? The 5 survival senses. So there's a lot more out there we can't see that light doesn't absorb. I don't think the ghost people are crazy. I think they get out there with the devices and study ghosts and look for ghosts and stuff like that. And I think there's something there. Right? They got those meters. I met a ghost hunter the other day, actually, to be honest with you. I met a ghost hunter the other day. And then, he kind of agrees that, something is there, we don't know what it is. And it might be that we create those spiritual things and energies. We manifest them through our fears. I don't know. I take a look at, I just want to see what's happening in the old. I have a look at the old and see if anything is important, interesting, nutritious, or delicious, anything we need to be worried about. Hopefully some mixed archaeology or something. That would be nice. That's always fun. Some aliens and some UFOs flying around. I haven't done that in a bit. Rick Sanchez. Mailbag. Do I trust the media? Can't trust the media. The media is owned by billionaires. Media muggle. Why reports ignore Putin? Why reporters ignore Putin? Might be something there. Hang on. Might be something there.
Time now for Media Muddle. This is our weekly segment where we take apart what the media does right and what the media does wrong. Unfortunately, lately, there's more of the latter. Tonight's conversation has to do with how the Western media covers Russia, and in particular, President Vladimir Putin. Joining us now, Harvard-educated, nationally syndicated columnist Ruben Navarrete. He's not one of those guys who's in the news business and has never really worked in news. He's been in news his whole life. All right, let's start with Mr. Putin. I don't know if you saw this today, Ruben, but so this guy holds his 4.5-hour news conference where he invites 2,000 people, journalists, regular citizens, and it wasn't like a cheerleading session. He actually took questions about potholes and everything else. That would be illustrative for Americans to know about. And yet, again, crickets. Nobody covered it, but yet all we hear from Putin during the impeachment is that he's the devil. That doesn't seem smart to me.
Rick, good to be with you again. You know, it's interesting. You think about the Russian people. A generation ago, they didn't have so much freedom. Now they're enjoying it. They're relishing it, and they don't take it for granted. Yeah. You see the same thing in places like Mexico, where not that long ago, after rigged elections, when the doors opened, all of a sudden people got a big dose of democracy, and they love it. You see traces of it in China with capitalism. And with the Americans, on the other hand, we take our freedoms for granted. And so we don't vote. Even when we register, half of us turn out to vote. And even when you go to these town halls and like politicians will hold town halls, you've been at these things, the questions are scripted. They know ahead of time who's going to ask the questions are planted.
Hold on. First of all, not voting is a vote. Let's be clear on that. Voting is picking a team within politics. Not voting is choosing not to engage in politics. So not voting is a choice. You know, I'm going to clarify that because some people get that confused. My ancestors didn't die for me to vote. My ancestors didn't fight anything for me to vote. My ancestors did all those things to have a say in government. And I don't think I have a say because in my country, there are only two political parties and they're both apathetically ignorant. Okay? They both want to hold up Babylon instead of changing Babylon to feed the world, to help the world, or help anybody in their country. So I just want to clarify that. Not voting is a vote. It's a vote against a two-sided, apathetic political system.
So kudos to...
I don't know what this is about. If somebody knows what this is about, tell me what this is. I have no idea what this is about. What does Putin have to do with the impeachment?
Putin for doing what he did. There are a lot of reasons why American politicians would not dare do anything like that.
You know what's interesting? People always accuse us, because I work at a place called RT. Well, you work for Putin. You work for Russia, right? And then you go through the list of the companies that own the American media today. How'd you like to work for Comcast? How'd you like to work for Disney? How'd you like to know who sits on the board of Disney and Comcast, who's influencing the news that goes in every day? So, look, whether you work for the BBC and it's UK, or whether you work for a Russian-owned network, or whether you work for it's kind of become all the same. Do you get my drift?
I do. You know, in Spanish, the phrase is patron, right, boss? You have the right to turn to people at ABC, CBS, NBC and say, oh, you know, instead of casting aspersions on me, Rick Sanchez, who's your patron? And if you think about it, if you work for ABC News and it's owned by Disney, and if you work for NBC and it's owned by Universal, if you work for CNN and it's owned by AT&T, you know, the corporations, as you talked about before, they run the media in this country. And the damaging part, the part I don't like, and the part we should all be concerned about is, what stories are we not being told? I don't see exposés about pharmaceutical companies on CNN, but I know when they go to commercial, I see one commercial after another put up their wait for it, pharmaceutical companies. So I think there's a lot more corruption and coziness in the media than most people realize.
You work for CNN, you've worked for Fox. I mean, you were a contributor on all the big networks. You work for all the big news.
I gotta make an edit there. So the people in your country are being starved. And children are dying from a lack of food. They're being poisoned by the water. People are coming up with mysterious illnesses. The government's not doing anything about it. Spending money abroad. You know who causes it because it's who's going to ever be thriving in that economy. If you live in a capitalist cronyist nation. So the causers are on every corner, but also the causers will be the ones who have the most predominant commercials. I like what he said. I definitely like what he said. Because when you look at the majority of television commercials, the companies that got the money to spend money to get you to buy more, those are the companies that are buying your government. They're the ones who are buying your laws. And he's spot on right about that. But we have to add to that statement. It's just not the companies on the corner. It's the companies that can afford to spend millions upon millions upon millions of more dollars to keep people doing the same stupid things they're doing so they can make profit. And government's not getting in the way of them at all, not regulating them at all, to no significant degree. Like I was saying yesterday, I was talking to some people, and they look at the plagues. Like you go back to the ancient times, right? You had the bubonic plague. They had one plague. How come they only had one? They only had the black plague, they had the bubonic plague, had a few other plagues. There's only one plague they had to deal with for the most part. We now have endless plagues. We have endless plagues of all ages. We live in a plague apocalypse. And they're not getting behind any of the research or the studies, and they're not doing anything in terms of common sense and stopping the idea of using chemical companies to solve problems for natural biological creations. They do it because chemicals dominate biology. They don't fix it. There's no healing discussion going on. They're just making money, keeping the problems. That's why we got so many plagues, because nobody's curing anything. Because the business isn't a cure. We don't have a government that helps set up an industry to cure us or help us. We have a government that set up an industry to keep us sick and sell us chemicals to prevent it or sell us chemicals to treat it after we got it.
Now I work for the Washington Post.
Have you ever felt the pushback? And I don't want to get you in trouble. Don't give me an exact case, but have you felt the pushback when you tried to file a story, Ruben?
Absolutely, and I think, ironically, Rick, you feel it more at the local level. 1,000 times more at the local level, because the boss who you work for at the company that pays your mortgage, you know, that boss can go to the grocery store and bump into the mayor, the police chief, the district attorney, the people who run, you know, a little town. You go to Miami, no little town, but a big city,
right,
where you live and where you're familiar. How many people, Rick Sanchez, can you offend in Miami in one afternoon?
Yeah, right.
You know, through city government and county government. And then your bosses go into those environments and they bump it. Hey, why not write that column, you know, in aisle 4 of the supermarket? So yeah, you can get to a lot of heat.
Listen, I'm glad we're...
Interesting, because that takes us back down the whole local discussion, right? When you buy local, you can choke the person that you bought from. But if you buy your things you're injecting in your body from corporations and powerful people who live on islands and yachts and fly Learjets everywhere, you're never going to bump into them. You know, so like a world economy to me is always a mistake. Y'all know me. I'm against world trade in every way. The only world trade I'm for is helping people to catch their own fish, and by fish I mean tomato, and not just giving them tomatoes. I'm against world trade in every way. The only world trade I'm for is things that people need. Other than that, there should be no world trade. Why? Because world trade, again, is just trying to take someone who made enough, deployed enough greed local in one town so they can spread it to the next town and break people in that town, force them to buy their product. That you can't have big corporations on this planet. And for the same reason he just said, you know, when you live in a town and you buy a product, it doesn't work, you can go back and tell the person it doesn't work. When you buy a product that comes from China, you can't tell them nothing. They can't speak your language anyway, so they have no idea what you're saying. Like, this don't work. They have no idea what you're saying. We have to be a local people. This is why I believe in tribes, not tribalism. I think that we should be very small economies, very small, low-budgeted people living from within their means until the whole world has what it needs. When the whole world has what it needs, then we can move forward. I'm completely against the idea of nation. I'm pretty much against the idea of states. I think that's too big. It gives people too much power. What's wrong in the world is power and greed. You can't have power and greed, not when you have children that need greens, cannabis greens. All right, kind of done with that. But I like what he said, and it's spot on. He's absolutely correct with that, except for that voting part. If the television tells you to vote, you know that's it's not going to change anything. If billionaires television tells you that you need to not vote, then you need to be out there voting. Do the opposite of what the billionaires say. If the billionaires created shenanigan world. All right. Impartial. We're probably onto the impeachment because that's just what people are interested in. I don't have any interest in it. Partial Senate trial unlikely as impeachment drama unfolds. Dun, 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 to change absolutely nothing anywhere in the world except for in people's egos. All right, and to keep Babylon. Why is it too late to avoid the coming recession? Why is it too late to avoid the coming recession? Because that's what currency systems do. That's what economies do. Why is it too late to avoid a currency collapse? Because that's what they always do. Why is it too late to avoid the empire's collapse? Because that's what they always do. The only difference is if we are smart enough to understand that and know history and get in the way of these things so they hurt as few people as possible, and the new system that comes later isn't the same thing as the currency-based system we got now that's going to collapse again and again and again and again. Who was that? Teletubbies? Poe? Or Tinky Winky? Who always says again? Or it's all of them. That's kind of that's kind of how I view the human race. I'm like, put the Teletubbies up on the screen. We're just some Teletubbies. We just, again. Oppression, slavery, again. Hang on, I gotta go find the Teletubbies now. That's got me thinking. I just love the Teletubbies. Just something. That show was addictive. That show was a drug. It's Teletubbies. I watch the Teletubbies. Cause they do Teletubbies. Oh, missed one. Teleteros right there. Look at that. Google knows exactly what I was doing. Teletubbies. Again. Because in the cartoon, well, the show, the Teletubbies, they do stuff and they enjoyed it. I got to do a video called Again. And they want to do it again. So they say again. And that's just like, people, slavery's bad. Let's not do that again. War is bad. Let's not do that again. Currency is bad. Let's not do that again. Socialism is bad. Let's not do that again. Capitalism is bad. Let's not do that again. Communism ended badly. Let's not do that again. How about we do something that's never again? Let's create a resource-based economy. Let's try to feed people. Let's try to do the things that we used to do when we were 7 or 2. The things that actually work. Once again, I think if you get all the world's leaders together and send them all to the daycares, they can learn something. When people learn how to do things like create national security, it's the same thing as creating local security. We had local security as kids. As kids, we had local security. So just go to any kids with some bikes. They still got BMX bikes. Because they were tired of doing again. We need something different. The kids, we had national security as children. We get on the bike, go to the next neighborhood. I get on the bike, call my friends, like, Greg, what you doing? Let's go bike ride. Let's go find some criminals. I call Alan, Elijah. I call, who are some old friends? I don't want to list them because I get in trouble. Like, yeah, list me. I call Paul and John and Sean. Actually, I had a friend John, I had some friends Sean. I call William. We all get on our bikes and we go ride to the next community. Hey, what y'all doing? We'd see a bike in front of somebody's yard. We'd get off the bike and go do a crazy thing and knock on the door. That's national security, making friends. And so we were secure. We had no fear. We'd ride everywhere on our bikes. And I'd ride places on my bikes together. Does it mean that bad things didn't happen? Oh no, every now and then a dog comes out, somebody let the German Shepherd out. You got to ride fast. There's some bad kids here and there, but I really wasn't worried about it because we had national security. I had friends everywhere. Right around every corner is going to be a friend. When you make friends, you don't need a Pentagon. When you make enemies, you're going to need a whole lot of Pentagons. Why? Because everybody else is making Pentagons and you got nukes and they going to need nukes. So we need to stop doing these again things. And y'all keep voting for people that just have no semblance of anything other than be a damn Teletubby. And they make Teletubbies. It's just like, come on, how many times you going to be a politician ain't going to give you no cake? They're not gonna make the cake. That's not their job. Again. 5G. Why are we doing 5G? Look at this. What is it right here? 5G health risk censored. Of course they're censored because they want to again. 4G causes cancer. Why are we even talking about 5G? Until you fix 4G, where it doesn't cause human cancers and chase off bee population and destroy the birds, you can't have 5G. But instead, we got that Chris. Who says the moron population? That's Brother Tony. Brother Tony calls it the moron population, and he's right. He's right. It's not offensive. I don't dislike his video. He's correct. We are the moron population. Bad things happen. We're like, again. Atlantis happens. Again. We keep giving people power. Again. Plato says democracy's game rate. Again. And when are we going to stop acting like children? That's why it's funny to me. That's why it's just hilarious. Say, why are you always telling people what to do? I don't tell nobody what to do. I literally don't care what anybody does. To me, extinction is just as funny as us making it. I don't know. I think us making it would be kind of cool. I think us thriving would be kind of fun. But I'm on nature's side. I'm not on the human side. I love the humans to death, but I am not on your side. I'm a part of nature. Maybe you're not. I am. And if nature decides that we haven't developed brains that's evolved beyond Teletubbies, that our brain, it maxes out at age 5, and then after that we de-evolve, then yeah, nature needs to reclaim us. Let us go back and to the soil where we can actually do some damn good as nitrate. I have no problems with human extinction. I have no problems. That's a sustainable cycle. We need to learn to grow up and mature as every other species on this planet, utilize some of this sentient stuff we have. So yeah, I don't tell people what to do. I don't care what people do. You know what? If it ever sounds like I'm telling people what to do, please clarify. I clarify for you. I learn, and I'm telling y'all what I'm gonna do. And I laugh at what gets done. That's what I do. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, because based on the smartest friends I know, they say we should do this. We debate it, go back and forth, solve problems, and hive mind. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna live off grid. Stop supporting corporations and governments that are banning living off grid. Why? Because living off grid is more sustainable. Right? Is it hard work? Yeah, it's hard work, but we got automation to make it easier. So let's go do that, and not support the people that are just doing it again. You know, so no, it's definitely not telling you what to do. Big girl, I think you should go do what you need to do. You do that. And if we go extinct, that's what's supposed to happen. I'm okay with that too. But I'm gonna live my life. All right, Putin weighs in on Trump impeachment. Oh, is this what they're talking about? Oh, so he said something. Y'all wanna look at that? I kinda wanna look at that. I want to know what he said, because I think that there's nothing to the impeachment. That's a waste of everybody's time. But there's something to Russia and China beating out America, kneeling before central banks and the world's powerful elites. I think that's how that plays out. Is America's a lord, Britain's a lord, and you got Russia and China, they're all lords, and they're vying over who gets to be the next world's police. And so this is why I think we need to learn Russian and Mandarin, because we keep doing it again, and we don't know how to. That's a shenanigans. So I kind of want to watch that. Hopefully that doesn't make y'all upset. I want to know what he said.
I want to go to a developing story out of Russia. That's where one person has been confirmed dead and several wounded following a shooting near the Russian Federation Security Service building. Now, we have become sadly used to these kinds of stories happening here in the United States, but this is interesting because
No, we have not become used to them. That's a lot. Let's not say that. I'm not saying it intentionally. We have not become used to that. Why? We only prioritize the shootings in our own nation. We don't give a damn about the shootings in other nations. You know, is it important that's a shooting happening in Russia? No, there's not. There's no important shooting in America. No, they're not. We send guns and weapons to people all day, and so do the Russians. And the Russians are big time. I never say much negative stuff about Russia. They're a nation like we are. We're just better at again than they are. We're better at world domination and murdering people and telling everybody what to do, and we obviously can't do it ourselves than they do. So, I mean, they're big for sending weapons to Africa. They're not the number one weapon trafficker. We are. They're big for sending weapons all over Africa. They got that U.S. model. They're not like the Chinese. The Chinese are more business people in Africa, but the Russians are sending weapons. So yeah, you know, when you believe and live by the sword, you believe by die by the sword. But also, I have friends from Russia, and they say what's true. They move here and they just say, hey, you know, the U.S. has a better economy, but their government's no different. Same with my friends from Mexico. Same thing. U.S. is different in terms of job opportunity and jobs and things like that. As far as the government's exactly the same, they're just not as good as at the corruption. America is just more evolved when it comes to being that slave for these Rothschilds and Rockefellers. I don't see what he says.
It doesn't happen often in Russia, especially at the place that was so secure like this. It's still unclear what the motive is behind the shooting. Police are saying that the gunman was neutralized. Russian authorities are calling.
Motive behind the shooting is the same motive behind every shooting. You don't take care of people's environment. I believe in neuroscientists. I believe in behavioral scientists. Why do people shoot people? Because they're upset. You change the environment, you change the people. You fix the environment, nobody joins white nationalists, KKK, or Bloods or Crips or Triads, or I don't even know the name of the Russian gangs. You know, when you have people are born in pleasant times, doing pleasant things, they become pleasant. When just like epigenetics, when the environment's bad, the genes go bad. The genes flip and the cells go bad. When the environment's good, people become good. So it's the same reason for all the mass shooting. I mean, now if you want to talk about the side effects, then you can go talk about the side effects and do some races and religions and this, that, and other. But if you want to talk about like the honest root cause problem of why you take a baby that's born on a planet that just wants some food and water, love, oxygen, play in a crib and have some fun, you show it hate. You show it hate, you show it apathy and indifference, and it's going to become what the adults are. So the reason of all mass shootings, you know, it doesn't really, I mean, yeah, the pharmaceuticals are side effects, and the guns are side effects, and the environment, the video games, and the movies, and all of those are interesting, dramatic side effects. The bottom line is, we don't give two damns about humans because we lost our humanity. And we can get it back, but that's a choice.
In this, an act of terrorism. So we will continue to follow this story and update you as we learn more.
It's not terrorism. I hate stuff like that. It's not terrorism. It's a litmus test. It's a litmus test. Mass shootings like children are a litmus test for if your government knows what the hell it's doing. If your government doesn't know what it's doing, you're gonna have a lot of mass shootings. If it knows what it's doing, you're gonna have a lot of happy people.
Staying also in Russia, one of the main political events of the year for President Putin is his annual Q&A session with journalists. It's the 15th time Mr. Putin summed up the results of the year this way. Almost 2,000 journalists from all over the country and representing foreign media were present. Well, actually, Yulia Shapovalova has the report from Moscow.
It took the Russian president 4.5 hours to answer more than 70 questions. Most of them applied to domestic problems. Questions on the economy, Russian constitution, agriculture, climate change and healthcare were discussed. Touching upon relations with the United States, the president emphasized that Russia is ready for bilateral dialogue for the sake of peace, despite unfriendly steps against the country. Russia sees the impeachment of President Donald Trump as internal rivalry in the US ahead of the election and something that negatively affects relations between Moscow and Washington.
I'm not so sure that President Trump will be impeached. The initiative needs to go through the Senate, where they have the Republican majority, as far as I know. I think Republicans will not want to remove their party representative from power for some, in my opinion, far-fetched reasons. It's just a continuation of political infighting. One party that lost the elections, the Democratic Party, is working for results through other methods, accusing Trump of collusion with Russia. Then it's discovered that there was no collusion. That can't be the basis for impeachment.
The president again expressed the readiness to extend the START 3 treaty at any time.
This is a global security issue.
Hold on. First of all, he's right. First of all, he's right. This is why I have the issue. You're always trying to make Putin look good. He's right. It's drama, but no, they're not going to impeach him. I don't think they're going to impeach him at all. Why would they? If they actually impeach him, that means that the Republicans and Democrats are in collusion. They'll never admit that. They need the Republicans to stay Republicans. They need the Democrats to stay Democrats. They need everybody to be apathetic. They just need to drive home this narrative that President Trump colludes with Russia, while Democrats and Republicans collude with the biggest corporations that are murdering the U.S. population through air, food, water, war, and every other means they can. So no, I don't think that. I think that if the Democrats and Republicans got together against Trump, I think that would create a third real political party. And I don't think they want that. I don't think the bankers really care, because they'll just buy that third party, but it'll create a lot of confusion. The U.S. is easier to control with two apathetic parties than a third one. And that's why the Green Party will never really get anywhere. A lot of my friends are Greens. I voted Green once, but it'll never get anywhere because the banks print the money. but it's a little too hard. When you got two, you don't have to do anything. When you own two parties with industry, you don't have to do anything. When you own three, there's a little extra work to do. I think return on ROI, return on investment. I think three would be more of a headache. But he's right. There was absolutely no collusion, and I don't think he'll be impeached because that would ruin the take. They own a country. America's on the take. They got both political parties on the take, beholden to those industries that are doing everything those industries want, which is looting the country for the central bankers. So yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's just drama. It's a stage play. It's a stage play, so they don't have to change anything. Unless someone who wants him impeached has managed to buy off the Senate, and it doesn't look like that happened. Even if someone wanted him impeached, Patricia, Donald Trump is a hated and well-loved figure. And that is what people tune into. The same reason I like watching Howard Stern. I don't think they're going to get rid of him because people ignore important topics for him. I wouldn't get rid of him. If I were one of these Rothschilds and Rockefellers and I had trillions of dollars, hell no, I would not let you get rid of him. Because as long as you can scare the hell out of some people and make other people worship them, you can very easily control the population because everyone focuses on ego and drama and beating out. Think about the power of what just happened that last election. You have husbands and wives not speaking to each other for periods of time. You got brothers and sisters that still haven't talked. You basically, the only way you break an intellectual country is you make them emotionally stupid. And so, yeah, I don't think that anyone could buy that. That's priceless. It's priceless to own a nation. It's priceless to own a Pentagon and start wars with people in those nations who will keep voting, dropping bombs on babies. That's priceless. That you can't get that kind of worship in a religion. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I don't think anybody would allow you to ever get enough money to buy off the Senate and that makes a lot of sense to me.
I want to repeat once again, by the end of the year, we are ready to simply extend the existing agreement. But so far, there's no answer to all our proposals. If there's no START 3, there will be nothing at all in the world that holds back the arms race. And this is a very bad development.
Exactly. Gun control. Oh, Putin. Okay, now I see why everybody's upset. Yeah, because Putin, he called him out. He basically said, okay, y'all keep talking about gun control. Let's do world arms control. And the Democrats don't want to do that. Neither do the Republicans because they both get paid. You got one party pretending to be the good guy. The other party is just like, we the bad guy. We really don't care. And Putin's calling them out. You guys actually don't want to end war. Violence isn't a problem for you because I just wish he would just go ahead and say, because you work for the people I want to work for. You work for Rothschilds and Rockefellers and your voters are too scared and emotional and dramatic to realize. I wish he would just go ahead and say it. Putin, if you're watching this, Putin, just say it, Putin. Just go ahead, just tell everybody. Be honest. End the shenanigans and go ahead and tell them. You just want to be where the Americans are. You want to kiss the ring. Bend the knee to central banking. Because Russia has a Rothschild bank. It's not a big bank, my understanding. It doesn't control their entire currency like America. I don't think you can buy stock in there. Somebody should do some research into the Russian Rothschild Bank. You can't buy stock in it the way you can in America, so you can't hold the whole nation captive. But I think he wants to be a lord higher up, serving the kings. I just wish he would go ahead and say it. Any Republicans and Democrats here what is he talking about? What is he talking about? You pick a president and you go vote. What is this? Well, I don't understand. Please do your homework. Some of y'all are supposed to be calling your Alzheimer friends and old people and questioning them on a regular basis. And the rest of y'all need to go get a book called Creature from Jekyll Island and read it. Okay? That's your homework. Before you vote. Don't go vote. Never do what the television tells you to do. First, do your homework, do your research, and then see if voting makes sense to you. So I love this. Let's see what the rest of what he said.
Putin also touched upon Russia's relations with China, saying there will be no military alliances between the two countries.
We do not have a military alliance with China, and we do not plan to create it. But the fact is that other countries are trying to create it in East Asia. You just listed them yourself.
He's lying. Oh, he's like, Pootie, why you lying? Pootie lying. Because you know what? America is way too big a thug. These people are come on. That's gang violence. Y'all know how that works. You know, one gang gets too big and gets too powerful. You got two small gangs. Do ever two small gangs never get together? Come on, they always get together. They're not going to talk about it, but they always get together. And part of what makes me think that that is true is that Air Force general who said that China is building a space force. The Air Force general that basically admitted they have free energy, basically admitted that consciousness controlling technology is a thing. And I'll be honest with you, I knew that when I was like 12. I knew somebody that knew somebody. Well, I knew somebody. I can't say nothing. I'm just gonna say that we've been using consciousness to fly things for a long time. So yeah, but the Air Force general is basically admitting to the American public that they got all this free energy stuff and they need to go into Space Force and we got to stop China because China's doing it because I think China trolled them. And if Russia's not doing that, I think they kind of are. I think Russia's already got their Space Force, America's got their Space Force, China's got their Space Force, but China's utilizing a certain technology. Y'all know who I'm talking about? I'll try to find a video. Or somebody post the name of it. It'll take me forever to look for it. I don't want to waste anybody's time. But he basically admitted to the American public, and I don't know why he did it, but I think China is trolling America and they're releasing technologies in space that America wants more funding, trillions to do, because they want to stay at the top of the lords and the breakdown of who serves those 13 families. All right. So yeah, he's lying about that. That's stupid. He's not gonna sit back and let America dominate the world and be the tip of the spear of the killer sword.
This is the USA, Japan and South Korea. We see this and consider it counterproductive. But our cooperation with China is developing, including in the field of defense technologies. China itself can create an early warning system for missile attacks, but with our help they will do it faster. That will hugely affect the defense capability of our strategic partner. But that is not an attack system. It works when somebody attacks you.
As the press conference was focusing mainly.
All right, that's enough of that. But yeah, I guess, I do believe that he's working on defensive. I don't think that they just work on only defensive systems. They got to do offensive because obviously the world's being invaded by a larger gang. The Chinese realize that money is truly more powerful than the biggest, toughest bomb because you don't want to kill the folks you're supposed to rule over before you can spend the money you have. Right there, spend money. That's a long one, huh? Spend the money you have. Lots of laughter. That's my Asian butt observation of the current status of the world's military industrial complex. They are flipping to investment bases instead of military bases. I think, Jeannie, that they're doing what they're better at. War and violence is always a thing. I don't think China can get away with military bases in Africa. Some reason Russia can, but Russia and America have weird ties when it comes to the military. They never opposed each other in open war. When open war breaks out, America and Russia tend to work together. And I don't think China has a Rothschild bank, unless I'm confusing myself. Somebody correct that, right? But Russia has a little one. So there's a lot of collusion there that is always happening. But I think China realized that, we're not going to get into Africa with drone bases, but we'll get in there with deals. We'll get in there with, and so I think that they're just taking that approach. If they could go the military approach, I think they would, because that's the easiest. But China has more money. They're certainly closer, but Obama already put all the AFRICOM bases all over. Like, he's already invaded Africa. He's already made it his slave, the slave for the Pentagon anyway. So I don't think they have any other route. So Russia's just doing the weapons trafficking, but America's got the force already there. And it's not America, it's just all these different lords that are fighting to just the winning of whoever actually runs all of this. Can you imagine an elected leader unable to agree with the leader from another country? That makes sense because the illogical, emotional outrage of the people they're supposed to represent. Obviously, government doesn't work in a world led by irrational emotions. Nope, I totally agree. Government, they work within rational money. They work within two systems. They work within power and greed. That's all. That's the only interest. And they pretend to other people that they give other people emotions. They give their voters emotions, but they don't want rational voters. Rational voters actually do very wise things. And I don't believe that, you don't want well-educated, like Carlin said, you don't want well-educated people who are critically thinking in your country. You want people who are Alzheimer, autism, sick, need medications, not enough fuel, not enough food, and struggle with each other, fighting over race, fighting over religion. People who need to go to these CVS's and these Walgreens just to get up in the morning. You want people who are really grumpy. You know what you want? You want Vikings. That's the way to put it. I was watching Vikings yesterday morning. You want Vikings. Like, why were the Vikings killing each other? Because they didn't have enough food, right? And after a while, they got tired of killing each other. They got on boats and started invading England and other places, Scandinavia. You want Vikings. You want people who will turn against each other and not against you. That's why it boggles my mind people still believe in governments. All right. There actually was one more thing I thought looked interesting. I can get out of here. China setting eyes on Mars. We got to go there real quick. Maybe they found the aliens. Think China found water on Mars yet? Because NASA ain't never gonna find it. Sometimes you just can't find it. But you really don't want to. That's why I told somebody yesterday. I said, you really think America went to space and actually find something on the moon and tell everybody? Like how stupid would it be for NASA to go to the moon and say, hey, guess what we found on the moon? There's a lot of stuff up here. Y'all should make some ships and come and follow us and we can all work together. That is not what colonizers do. They went to the moon, and no matter, before they even went to the moon, they had that Brookings report. And I already told them, when you get to the moon, the only thing you can find is dust. So just to clarify, you don't go a place and discover something new and share it with your supposed enemies. You go there, or your people. You go there and you lie about it. You say, ain't nothing but talcum powder and dust. There's no reason for anybody to come here. It's a waste of time. We should be spending trillions of dollars to get up here. And then $21 trillion goes missing from the Pentagon. Because they just keep going back. They can't stop it. So yeah, they're not going to tell us the truth about Mars. But China seems to be trolling America. So something interesting might have come out of this. China might tell you a little more truth than NASA will, because NASA, once again, never a straight answer, because they're lying. They're a lying part of the Department of Offense. They're designed to lie to you about things and lie to the enemy.
Okay, there is a new race for 2020, not in the way that you're thinking. 50 years after the moon landing, the next race is the space race focusing on Mars. This time around, it's not just the U.S. that's headed for the red planet. RT correspondent Saya Tavenger is joining us to tell us how other countries are racing against time to get to Mars.
Well, Manila, it's the next great frontier for human space exploration. And now, governments, entrepreneurs, and space agencies are all racing to put boots on Mars. So far, the U.S. has been the only country to successfully land and operate a spacecraft on Mars. And now, Europe's ExoMars rover is one of two scheduled to lift off for the red planet by next summer. The second one, NASA's Mars 2020, aims to do the same.
Clarify. America is the only one that admitted going to Mars, and they're the only one who have done it this yuga. They're the only one that did it this Kali Yuga. I think other people, humanoids, whatever on our planet, going back millions of years, they've done this a long time ago. They knew Pluto was blue. They knew things about other solar systems, and either aliens told them or they went there. And Mars was a place. We know they had powerful ancient technology. We know that they certainly had drill technology better than all the diamond bit drills of today. So we knew that they had ancient technology, ancient archaeology. So yeah, I absolutely believe people have been there. And plus my friend Donna Hare told me. She was here earlier. She already said that they've been looking at structures on the moon for the longest time. Some of them looked recent, and some of them looked like they were ancient. In the future, somebody's gonna watch this video. They're gonna be space archaeologists going around looking what the humans did all over the solar system. And they finally release it to us that we aren't the first. America was not the first.
These robotic machines that kind of look like doom buggies will search for evidence of life on Mars and help scientists understand the extreme conditions human travelers will have to overcome. And that's all because scientists think that billions of years ago, the orange orb was very much like our own planet. It once had an atmosphere that was very similar to Earth. It even had a liquid ocean. So if you're looking for signs of life anywhere in the solar system or elsewhere in the universe, then Mars is the perfect place to start looking. In fact, NASA Mars rover named Curiosity has been roaming the red planet since 2004. But Curiosity was built to operate only for 3 months, but kept going and going, rolling across the rocky red soil, and was finally pronounced dead in 2019. 15 years after it landed on the planet. And just this week, NASA's Mars 2020 rover passed its first driving test and earned its driver's license to Mars. And this time around, it's designed to make better independent driving decisions, is equipped with a high-resolution, wider color camera, an extra computer brain for processing images and making maps, and also a sophisticated auto navigation software. China's space agency is also planning to land on the red planet in 2021 after an expected launch in 2020. And after a failed attempt to land on Mars by the European Space Agency in 2016, the Europeans joined Russia's space agency and created the ExoMars. But what sets the ExoMars apart from NASA's rovers, it's its groundbreaking penetrating drill that would actually help scientists study Mars at a more depth, because ExoMars scientists believe that if they're going to find any kind of evidence of past or present life, below the surface is the best place to look. So if all goes to plan, this would be Europe's first rover on Mars. And guess who else is joining the race? The United Arab Emirates, who's aiming to send its first spacecraft to Mars in July 2020. The orbiter is named Hope. If successful, it would be the first Arab and Islamic mission to reach Mars. So now 50 years after humans first stepped on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission, this seems way overdue, especially since the moon serves as kind of the Rosetta Stone for understanding the rest of the solar system. So who knows, Manila, one day we'll be reporting news from Mars.
It'd be very cool. Science Tavenger, thank you.
Anybody excited by that? Y'all get excited? It's taking new cameras, new drilling equipment. It's going to be able to rove all over Mars. So we can go to Mars. We ain't going, y'all. We ain't going. Not you. Not you. Not if you're watching this. If you're watching this, you too poor. They are going to Mars. The billionaires and trillionaires are going to Mars like they're going to America. Like they went to Africa and they went everywhere else. Like the Egyptians went to Europe. They're going there to see what they can dominate, and they're gonna lie about what they find. That's just, we are not going to Mars. Do not get excited. They got all that fancy equipment, and it's not to share anything with you. Make sure you have no idea what they find. I think all things work above as they do below. And as long as we keep this world where governments have secrets, corporations have secrets, and the whole purpose of a corporation is money, and the whole purpose of a government is power, they're not going to tell you anything. And to me, that's common sense. Like they don't want strong, educated, well-informed people. They want people dumb enough to keep the system. And that's what they got in China and Russia and Arab Emirates and everywhere. They got people because they've effectively put the whole world in conflict with all their family members everywhere else. So they don't have to actually change anything. They don't have to tell us what they do, you know. All right. I dig listening to Putin and Assad talk straight. Yes, so do I. I like because the straightest talk that you'll get, it will come from those lowest on the power realm. Now, they'll still lie. Putin will still lie to you, but he'll certainly say a lot more true than what people at the top. People at the top will always only lie. Who is honest with themselves? Who is honest with themselves or others, Gerard? Not most human suits. Well, yeah, I don't think anyone's honest with themselves, right? I don't think anyone's totally honest with everybody else or totally honest with themselves, especially in corporations, right? You work for a corporation, yeah, you can say some things that are true, but you're not going to say everything that's true. You're not going to speak against the corporation that puts biscuits on the table. You know, and that's why I say everybody's controlled opposition. Everybody is controlled opposition. Because that's just how this world works. So and this is what, Susan, we were talking about. That's why I say I can't trust anyone. Because if you can't trust yourself, then you can't trust anyone. Trust what's true. That's what you do. You trust what's true. But everybody's controlled opposition when they control all the information. They all lie, like Lori said. They all lie. Every last one of them. And we need to live like that's the case. We need to live like this is the real world, like the shenanigans everywhere. And we don't want shenanigans to continue. I mean, I don't want my kids to live on Shennanigans Planet. I think this has got no, I don't want again. I don't know. I'm tired of again. I think we need new and new. We need something new, something we've never seen before. And the only way that happens is if we start acting like a hive mind, all working together. Harvesting minerals is the objective. And I agree with you, Kia. That's all what it's always about. The objective is not to go, oh, we're going to space so they can tell us what's going on. No. They're going to space to harvest minerals. The same reason they're going to Africa, the same reason they go to Latin America, the same reason oligarchs get in the morning and put their boots on and get on television. It's to lie to us to make us look stupid so they can go and rob somebody else. It's what they always do. I just hope they get up there and rob the wrong alien. I hope they just rob the alien. This kind of attitude. I hope they rob that alien and it's the wrong day. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting. That's the best form of extinction if we go by alien. That would be fun. See the big ships come out the sky and see some lights and stuff. Like, oh, we're going to get our ships and fight the aliens. I always love alien movies. Because the humans have that, like literally something's going to fly here from another solar system and you're going to use a tank and some airplanes and gas-powered missiles because you've been trapped on fossil fuels for the past 100 years because you're too stupid to realize that the Rothschilds and Rockefellers kept us on Standard Oil for 100 years so they can make profit. When we are Shenaniganites, we need to understand we're going to die by shenanigans. That's how we go extinct. Right now, we're going to go extinct by shenanigans because we let them dominate the world. We don't seem to be smart enough to realize that this is a bad idea to continue. And I think that I do kind of find that a little bit funny. Blame it on Obama. No, see, I actually don't blame it on Obama. I don't. Like I said every day, I said he was in office at the time. His butt cheeks was in those chairs. But presidents don't have any power. They don't have any power at all. Why I don't follow the impeachment? They don't have any power. Zero. Zilch. It matters not at all who the U.S. president is to anything important in the world. Powerful people make all those decisions, and if one American president tries to do something for the American people, he goes extinct. My guru said humans went already long ago to Mars. Well, right, Christine, and they documented that, right, in the Sanskrit text. The Egyptians said something similar. The Dogon tribe, they said what the colors of the planets were, and was the Mayans or the Aztecs? I forgot who. They all said it. The Native Americans said that our, what they call them, the Star People. Like Native Americans, it's the Hopi that has a whole lineage, documentation, and scripts and scrolls talking about the Star People. You know, we all know that yeah, we've been there. They've taken us there. Ezekiel, who was the other? Enoch. Like they've all been there. So yeah, and I don't know that we made the technology that took us there. Maybe it was alien technology. Maybe we made it. Maybe they found it from a previous yuga, from a pole shift that was trapped under a tree, a bush, in a cave or something. I have no idea. All I know, maybe they just did consciousness. Maybe it was all what the Pentagon's been working on for 30, 40 years, using consciousness to control technology. Could be that. Because who did that begin? That began with Nikola Tesla's understudy, right? Where they first started talking about controlling these anti-gravity devices with consciousness. And for some reason, I'm thinking, it was a video I saw a long time ago, where one of Nikola Tesla's understudies was actually bringing people into the lab and going around on the streets using the levitation device, showing people how to use consciousness to control the ship. And I think they used crystals to some degree. Just crazy stuff. And it was added in a newspaper. But of course, they control history and they control what's online. And I think that's why digital and online is beneficial. Like people are like, yeah, we need to go to Bitcoin. Like, no, they actually control Bitcoin a lot easier. It's a digit in a database. They can change it anytime they want or completely delete it. The reason we know that we're lied to about giants and anti-gravity and all of this stuff is because they had newspaper ads. And those newspapers are still floating around. People still have them in their attic. They got them in the closet. They take a picture that appears on the internet, but I think they wiped that stuff from Google after a while. But you know, you can tell, like, once again, giants. You know they're real because there were so many news articles written about them. You know that they found these ooparts, these out-of-place artifacts, because of the news articles. They want to get everything on a server in a database because they want to control history. If they control history, they own us. People who don't know their past will have no idea their future. They've wiped from everybody's record that we come from barbarians, and the powerful people in power right now, they come from the family that murders everybody's ancestors, from the Germanic tribes to the British tribes to the Huns to the Africans to the Latin Americans. We're all barbarians holding up Babylon, turning on our ancestors because they own history. Aliens didn't discover space interdimensional travel by dividing into groups based on birthplace and looks. Right, and that's the point, Susan. And that's kind of my theory too, is that we don't get off of this planet if we don't learn how to stop killing each other over bananas. We have to stop worrying about little ignorant stuff and focus on things that actually matter. Political parties don't matter, skin color doesn't matter, hair color doesn't matter, eyes don't matter, how many feet you got don't matter. None of that matters. Doesn't matter where you're born, doesn't matter if you're Russian, doesn't matter if you're Irish, doesn't matter if you're American. You're a human being. And until you act like one, the elite that control all the world's governments will continue to do everything they can for power and money until we all die. And then maybe they make it. And they should do that, because it's probably what I would do. It's what we agreed to, is that manufactured consent. We're still living in the matrix, like this is how the world works, that we should be against people because they were born in a certain place and their logic makes them a Democrat or their logic makes them a Republican. We should be doing our best to talk to those people and get them to understand that we're all a part of the same tribe and we're all going to die together if we keep acting ignorant. They all know they're about to blow themselves up, so they're rushing to find somewhere else to go. Oh, well, that's another thing, Adam. Who said that? Elon Musk? Yeah, Elon was playing with AI. That's how the story goes. Elon was playing with AI because he's a billionaire. He has access to real information, not television information. Then he realized what the world governments were doing with AI. He realized things that I think should be common sense. That every government is trying to get AI as quickly as possible and turn on their police state to it and turn on their war engine to it. So whoever does that first with the police state means they own their people and they control their people, is what the kings and lords are always trying to do. They're not trying to make you cake, they're trying to make you a slave. The best slave will come from a AI robotic controlled force, and you'll win every war if you have a Skynet. So they're all racing to turn that on. And I think Elon saw I think Elon saw that and he was just crazy enough to say, you know what? I'm crazy as hell, but these people crazy enough. I think Elon with his little skits in our head and stuff. Elon, if you watch this, brother, I love you. I'm just making jokes, man. Those are no killer robots over here for me. I think he saw like, dang it, this is what all the world's governments are up to? You mean all of them are doing the same thing? They're all racing to turn AI on that's going to kill all us? Adam, Elon, the next thing you know, Space Force. Next thing you know, Elon shut all them projects down. He shut them all down. And he went and he started going to the moon. After that, everything was SpaceX. After that, he's like, shut everything down. I got to get the hell out of here. And the way I put it, Adam, I don't know if you were around a year ago, I said, a good indicator that you're in the matrix and you need to really change how you think is if a billionaire that owns this planet, they can buy Epstein Islands and political parties and nations and can own massive, they could have anybody they want. They could live like a king on this planet as a billionaire. If a billionaire wants to go live in a tin can and re-drink his own pee, go live in a tin can on Mars and not a tropical, spot in the Bahamas and be a lord on a yacht, but he wants to go live in a tin can on the moon or Mars, pee in a cup, recycle it and re-drink it, and boo-boo in a can. and have that recycled and turned back into a ham sandwich or something. If a billionaire wants to do that, bad things on. That's a bad omen. That's a bad omen for you. It's a bad time to come. I agree with you. When your king's like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the bunker for a little bit. I'll be right back. That's a hint. When the Democrats and Republicans, because they've been spending billions of dollars in bunkers, and so has Russia and all the rest of them. When they're like, you know what? Y'all stay up here. Yeah, y'all keep talking about the impeachment. Y'all fight over some politics. Ooh, look, did y'all hear what the black people said? Ooh, did you hear what the white people said? You know, get them fighting. You know, the police are racist. Yeah, go fight them too. Get everybody fighting, and all the billionaires slowly sneaking out the room. Going into the bunkers that we built and paid for. When they do that, that's a hint. That should be a hint if you're thinking. If you got that thinking cap on, and right underneath the tinfoil hat, you got that on, and you understand how kings and lords work. You know, it's like the wine. It's like the wine. You go sit down at the table, all the kings all sit around each other. And they're sitting in somebody else's kingdom. They go put the wine in front of everybody. There's one king that ain't drinking the wine. And that actually is the one whose servant's probably pouring it. Don't drink the wine. Right? Stop voting if you realize that these people are not in it for you. Right? There you go. Let's do the last couple comments to get out here. Jasmine said, Water world is the world. That's what the world is, because I mean, mostly the world is always ice, right? The world is an ice age. The world is always surrounded by water. You know, we're in this weird moment in history where we don't have water everywhere. We don't have ice everywhere. And I think we got these moments in times to work together, grow up, and get off this planet, or we all die. But we're too busy fighting each other over phenotyping because somebody else was born in a different location. We think they were our bananas, or we trust the king who said that. Most people don't leave the system because they work in it and don't want to go through change perceived as difficult. Exactly, kid. That's what we said at the very beginning, because I was listening to Seth Guru. He was talking about how people who have it pleasant, they don't like unpleasantries. Change is unpleasant to people who got it pretty good. They're very not progressive. Once you've got 4 legs under your table of a lifestyle and things are going pretty well, you don't want things to change too much. That's why you can't blame the billionaires and the trillionaires. They got it pretty good. Those kids are born there and they don't really want too much change. So it makes sense to buy the Democrats and the Republicans. It makes sense to buy Russia and America, just to make sure that y'all can change. You're not going to change too much too fast, because you might break one of these legs under this lifestyle that I have. So absolutely. And the same thing with the scientists, the doctors, the teachers, everybody else. If you're in the system and it props up your lifestyle, pays your mortgage, you're not going to buck the system. That's why I think automation and free energy are the way out. When you give people the things that they struggle and lie for, they stop struggling and they stop lying. And then doctors go back to being healers. Police officers going back to just trying to be heroes. FBI, CIA, and everybody wants to be a hero. Things become productive. Nobody's unpleasant, right? Because the struggles are taken care of. So you don't have people shooting malls up and shooting schools up. Real simple solutions. These are all solutions. We've known this. None of this is new. Sometimes people, who is that? Is that Rebecca just sent me a line? Sometimes people are like, oh, you know, what he's saying makes a whole lot of sense. How did he figure that out? It's because it's old. That's how. It's old. I stopped watching TV. I didn't make none of this up. This is just neuroscientists and professionals. I think that was probably the most profound discovery of our time, is the warrior genes, in that our environments form us. All right, let me see. I think I'm in comments jail. Oh, no, I see your comment, Elizabeth. Can only engage through my groups page. It's as if I'm trying to overthrow the kingdom. You probably are, Elizabeth, because you're always trying to overthrow the kingdom. Why don't you just get along with everybody else, Elizabeth? How come you can't just praise your lords and kings? Trying to overthrow things. How come you trying to overthrow Facebook and overthrow people that are oppressing and enslaving all of us? You're supposed to be in comment jail, but I can see your comment. I can't see it there because I'm in C comment jail. I can't see any Facebook comments today, but I see them down here. I just can't put them up there. That's how you know you're saying something important, because there's a billionaire software somewhere shadow banning, trying to stop what you're saying. Thankfully, citizen devs, we are empowered to restore balance to our lives by buying locally, producing what we can, and living presently. Absolutely, Kevin. Which is why nobody can have a problem with this world. The world is exactly the way it's supposed to be. We can solve it anytime we want to. It's exactly how it's supposed to be. We can't have any problem with this world. We watched Dances with Wolves last night. Such an amazing, that's a beautiful movie. I agree with you, kid. And what I'm saying is you got to be okay with the world. Let me clarify, because people, you can only change you. It's the only thing you can do. You can change you and share what you're doing with other people and let them change them. It's not a sustainable change when you force anybody to do anything. You can't force other people. All you can do is change and share. So the world, by manufactured consent, is the way it's supposed to be, because we keep cheering for the people who manufacture that consent to other people. That's all we can do. Laying loving hands on my food is a wonderful thing. Yep, Key, I'm about to go lay my hands on some breakfast in a minute. I'm starving. I think the more you distance yourself from the process of life, more you are distant/disconnected. Absolutely, like real life, Kia. Real life, right? Not like Matrix life, not like in the battery pod life of the Matrix, but like real life. Absolutely, totally agree. We don't want to be disconnected. We got to get connected more. I can see you back on Facebook. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm not sure if it's great to be seen back on Facebook. I'm not sure everybody agrees with that. But hey, I'm glad. I'll go anywhere I can start a discussion, I will. We need to talk more. Which is why I'm back on Facebook. I was going to ban Facebook for a little bit, Elizabeth. I was this close. I was this close to shutting Facebook down from a Gerard perspective. I was this close. And then I stopped and said, you know what? I can't do that. We have too many important discussions to have. You know, like that in a way, that's giving up. In a way, that's giving up. Like, you totally get deleted and banned and all that stuff. That's one thing. And plus, I don't think Facebook really cares anymore. I think they thrive on conflict like Democrats and Republicans and all political parties, not just Democratic, and all over the world does. This is conflict world, a shenanigan world. And the only way to get people to be in conflict with one another is to lie to them. Get them to be in conflict with their families. So I think Facebook thrives on that. That was my theory from yesterday. I don't know if you were here. I said I think sometimes Facebook just blocks everybody because it makes them think they're saying something important. Just keep everybody fighting each other. That's how we keep tuning in. Gerard, you weren't praising your lords and kings. I can't do that, Susan. I don't have any lords and kings. I am a free entity. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm not supposed to be following no lords and kings. I know that. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in this life, but it damn sure has nothing to do with being on my knees and begging forgiveness and constantly cheering shenanigans. I have no interest in cheering shenanigans. I know that's a polar bear. I know that's a seal. I know the polar bear is white because it blends in with snow and seals and water and other things. And that's not on a smile on his face. Those are teeth, and those teeth cut in. I know what the pharmaceutical industry is, and I know what it does. A chemical company wants to sell chemicals. It's not a medical company or a biological company curing biological humans. Everything is a shenanigan because we live on Shennanigan planets because we consent to all the shenanigans. All right, how you going? Somebody just lies. One last point. Still, I have a good weekend. No, don't let them bully us into quitting. Be a pain in the booty cheeks. I agree with Elizabeth. We're going to end on that. Always be a thorn in the side of those promoting shenanigans. Always be a thorn in the side of those cheering slavery. Always be a thorn in the side of those building more prisons in elementary schools. Always be a thorn in the side of those trying to get somebody fighting with other people because those people were born there and they were born there. Always, always, always. Actually, Brother Kevin always says something deep. I hope this is deep. Kevin, I'm putting you on the spot, man. I'll just go ahead and read it. Citizen Deb, you are emerging into the vehicle of your highest purpose. Trust what feels light. Receive truth wherever you can find it. Kevin, you don't ever disappoint me, brother. You don't ever disappoint. You always slam it on home. Absolutely, people. Trust what feels good. Trust your inside. God is within you. Whatever that created you. It loves you. Trust that. And truth comes from everywhere. Everywhere you find it. Pick it up, share it with other people. Anyway, it's Gerard. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a great weekend. I got to go.